souls that we're bringing to the light. From maps to mods to the rigs we drive, we're talking to the folks who keep this farm life alive. It's Farm Sim Talk with BDD. Come pull up a chair and ride along with me. Stories from the makers, the builders of the scene. Farm Sim Talk, where we live the farming dream. He's got questions rolling like a big John Deere, digging deep with modders so their voices we can hear. From giants of the code to the artists painting skies, he's shining up their stories like a brand new combine. It's Farm Sim Talk with BDD. Come pull up a chair and ride along with me. Stories from the makers, the builders of the scene. Farm Sim Talk, where we live the farming dream. From tractors to textures, from silos to sounds, there's a whole crew of heroes making this world go round. So tune in and find out who's behind the screen. Farm Sim Talk's the place to see what farming really means. It's Farm Sim Talk with BDD. Come pull up a chair and ride along with me. Stories from the makers, the builders of the scene. Farm Sim Talk, where we live the farming dream.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Daddy Dave, and this is Farm Sim Talk, a show where we get to talk to other creators and find out a little bit more about them. Tonight, I'm joined here by my guest, 4B Gaming. 4B, how you doing tonight?
I'm all right.
Excellent, excellent. Glad to hear it. So, tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do within the Farm Sim community.
I am 4B Gaming. I make videos, I live stream, I pick on a lot of my community. I just try to have fun with it. Try to have fun with it and, be me, but PG me.
I gotcha. Do you want to let us know where we can find you?
You can find me on YouTube for all the Farm Sim content. If you want to watch me play anything else other than Farm Sim, I'll be over on Twitch.
Excellent. And do you want to give any shout outs before we get going?
Not really. I mean, I don't really know who I want to shout out. You've already had everybody that I'd shout out on here.
Gotcha. All right, well then we'll go ahead and kick it over to our first segment there called Digging Up Dirt. This is where we're going to get to know you for a little bit about you outside of the content creation sphere. So my first question to you is do you have a job outside of content creation, or is this your primary job?
I have a job outside. I deliver vehicle parts. I have roughly 300-400 miles a day.
Wow, okay, so pretty good amount of mileage there. Is it just like within your local community, or?
Couple hours, pretty much a 2-hour circle. around me. But I'm at the very south end, so yeah, no, it's quite fun, I guess. I've been doing it for 6 years, so
I gotcha. And is it like all the same like locations that you're delivering to, or
yes,
does it like just kind
yes,
of
it's
change up?
all the same customers. Changes up from time to time. Getting a new customer, losing a customer, stuff like that. Due to price fluctuations and parts availability. But yeah, but for the same, it pretty much just stays the same.
Gotcha. And what kind of hobbies do you have? Do you like to go hiking, fishing, watch sports?
Hunting, uh, pretty much just hunting. If I'm not hunting, I'm working. Work pretty much is my hobby, and YouTube is, well, my second job, but also my hobby.
And what do you like to go hunting for?
Deer. I
Oh,
hunt a lot of deer. I mean,
nice, nice.
should
You
I?
bow, gun, what's your
Bow. I used to do bow. I'm not allowed to do bow anymore. But rifle. I've had way too many shoulder surgeries. My wife will not allow me to go pull a bow anymore. I think I'm
that
at
makes
8
sense.
now.
Wow. What happened for you to have so
Labrum.
many?
Labrum. It was football, working on cars, wrestling, just not listening and being too stubborn to know when to quit.
I get you there. I completely understand. There's plenty of times where I don't listen to somebody's better advice and I end up paying the price for it in the long run. But what kind of well, let me ask you this. Do you like to read books, watch movies?
Not. I will while I'm driving, I'll listen to audiobooks and stuff like that and, podcasts, but I really don't watch TV at all. I don't really consume much um content of any source outside of, stopping in, seeing my friend stream, going and watching other content creators on, say, like a game that I'm, currently obsessed with, trying to learn new things about that. I don't, like I said, I it's probably not healthy, but if I'm not working, I don't feel right. If I'm not sitting here looking at my analytics, I don't if I'm not doing something to feel like I'm working, I don't feel like I'm doing anything. So, I just keep working till I go to bed.
Got to keep rolling that stone to get it somewhere. No, I
I don't know
completely.
where, but we'll get it somewhere someday.
You know what? I wish that somebody would have told me when I was younger that, you know, as long as you sit there and you work hard, doesn't matter, if you're going to, how do I say this? It won't matter the fact that you might not be the best at it, but you'll be successful one way or another. As long as you're grinding, as long as you're working, you're going to get somewhere with it. So I wish that I heard that somewhere and it really kind of struck a chord with me. I don't know, I don't remember where I heard it from, but it was just one of those that really kind of stood out.
Yeah,
So
I'm
go
I
ahead.
agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And, my deal is, like, as of right now, like, my content has slowed down, but I have a lot more going on, like the family side that I'm focusing on, and just, I'm burnout. I go through those phases of burnout for stuff. Like, I will make content till I can't stand to even look at Farm Sim. And then I'll go through a couple months where I can't do it anymore, and then it'll be game on, go pedal to metal for another 6, 7, 8 months.
Well, and that's the thing too, is as you're sitting there and experiencing those kind of ebbs and flows, I mean, it does give you an opportunity to kind of recollect yourself and be able to come up with ideas, for when it does start to reignite that passion. Out of curiosity, do you only create farm sim content, or you create other content as well?
I live stream other content over on Twitch. But as far as the YouTube side, it is farm sim only. A lot of my live streams as of right now that are farm sim are over with my members, and that is while we're recording my videos. So all of my videos that come out are recorded with members, except for I think like maybe a handful out of probably the last year. So
Okay.
yeah, no, I do. I YouTube is strictly farm sim though. I don't like messing with the algorithm. I tried that whenever the channel was smaller, and it really messed with my algorithm a lot. So I don't touch any other game on this channel.
Gotcha, gotcha. So over on Twitch, what kind of games do you play on there?
Oh, it can be anywhere from like Rocket League, Delta Force, Arena Breakout, Battlefield 6. Shoot, we've done Peak. It's just whatever is floating my boat at the moment.
Okay.
I mean, I think there's even been a couple times where what was that game? I was a blacksmith.
Hmm.
Medieval Blacksmith. There we go.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, no, it's a good mind number.
But sometimes you need those kind of games. One of those where you could just kind of kick back, relax, and just kind of, focus in on what you're doing, kind of thing. I mean, that's really the whole reason why I love Farm Sim so much, is that you can just sit down and do the task, kind of thing. And you're not competing with anybody. You're not really thrusting yourself into a competition or anything like that, or driving towards, a disaster. Like you're always going to get to somewhere positive, kind of thing.
And I will put out a disclaimer for my Twitch side. I am 4B right now, and 4B is PG-13. PG-13 gets that one once a movie. But Twitch, I am just beware. I am me as a human being and as a person. I am completely unfiltered and raw over there. You get me as me.
Gotcha. So you mentioned that you will listen to audiobooks while you're driving around in podcasts. What kind of audiobooks and podcasts do you take in?
Favorite podcast listen to would be Unsubscribed podcast, Farm Talk. I think it's Farm Talk. I can't remember. My dad sent it to me a few months ago, and I just hit play. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hit play and keep going. But funny enough, a lot of my audiobooks are books that I used to read as a middle schooler and high schooler, but I find that listening to them on an audiobook with somebody else telling the story kind of, brings it to a new light. So I'm still kind of going through all those books, because I used to read a lot. Like, I have dyslexia, and the way that I learned to overcome it, for the most part, was just by forcing myself to read. And that's what I did. I read books 24/7.
I mean,
So
that's excellent. I mean, you knew that it was going to be a challenge, but you did it anyways. That's fantastic. Now you mentioned the Unsubscribed podcast. Out of curiosity, is that the one with Donut Operator and Eli Double Tap and
Fat Electrician,
Brandon Herrera? You and I are going to be friends. I can see this.
Yeah,
I can see this from a mile away.
No, no, I've been watching them and listening to them since episode 50.
I actually recently subscribed to their like their app. I forget what it's called. Why can't I remember it?
Oh,
Pepperbox.
Yes, Pepperbox.
Yep.
No, I've been on Pepperbox for a while. I actually should probably, I'm gonna write that down. Hold on, I gotta grab a pen so I remember to cancel that one.
You're welcome. Oh, but no, it's a really awesome, subscription. I mean, for the, like, I think it's like $7 or something. You get all the people that we mentioned there before. They all have like YouTube channels and all that stuff. So, tons of content. If you're not familiar with them, go check them out. It's pretty cool.
Even Millennial Farmer's on there.
Millennial Farmer is on there. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
Millennial
actually,
Farmer. A lot of content creators are going there because they don't censor anything.
mm-hmm.
You know, they don't. There's not as many hoops to jump through for that. It's just it's the content that they want to make. It's old school YouTube.
Yes. Yes.
It is old school YouTube, and you know, I love it for that, but IVF and paying for IVF right now means that I gotta go without it.
I tell you what, man, good luck with IVF. I actually have two kids of my own, and they were both through IVF, so I know exactly what it is that you're going through. So I wish you the best of luck with that.
And that is why we haven't been in live as much. My I already have short man syndrome, and the fuse is a heck of a lot shorter as of late, so I choose not to do as many lives, because if you can't tell by hey Roy, you and your hedges can go pack sand. I mean, sorry, this is about what, Roy, 4 years at this point that I every time I see him I gotta tell him that him and his hedges can pack sand. It's just don't ask questions.
Oh, goodness. I mean, that is kind of the whole point of the show here, is to sit here and ask questions. So
You can ask, but yeah,
might not
that's
like the
pretty
answer.
much- no, it's I don't like his hedges, and that's about it. There's a few hedges that are and you can't get rid of, and I feel like I may be the cause of that.
Oh, goodness. But so like I said, I've gone through IVF with both of my kids. It's one of those where it's incredibly stressful. There's a ton of stuff you have to do. You know, it's one of those that you have to sit there and support your partner throughout the whole thing. It's really a lot to go through. So trust me when you said that, hey, the fuse is short kind of thing, I 100% understand. 100%.
Well, you'll understand this a lot more than anybody else. We're at collection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're like 3/4 of the way through that phase, and I'm the one that's supposed to be getting cut up, not her. So, yeah, it's a very weird power dynamic, knowing that my wife has to have surgery within the next week or two.
Yep. Yep. It's rough. It's real
Yeah,
rough. Like I said.
I'll say this: I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. Right there with you. I thought the same exact thing years ago. My oldest is 4 years old. My youngest is a year and a half. And 4 years ago when I was going through all this like fresh kind of stuff, I mean, yeah, it's rough. It is rough. Like you don't want to see anybody have to go through it, but when they do go through it and they get the best outcome of it being successful, they get their kids out of it and all that, it's an amazing thing. So although right now it seems like a lot of it is really hard, there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing. So
Oh, and yeah, no, that's exactly what I am doing my best to focus on. And that's why I guess you could say I've taken a step back from content creation. I've just been playing games with my friends, just trying to step away from things as of right now. I've I used to I'll say this. YouTube's almost cost me my marriage on multiple occasions.
Oh wow.
Yes. Like that's how focused I would become on it. And as I've gotten older and as we have, grown and matured together, I've come to realize that YouTube's not permanent. That one is, and I've more focused on that balance.
No, it sounds like you got your priorities there. I mean, like I said, I wish you nothing but the best in that regards. Yeah, it's a long road, but you'll get there. You'll get there. So let me ask you this: how long have you been doing content creation?
Oh goodness. You're actually gonna I can't remember if it's 2021 or 2020. Hold on, I can tell you. 2021, January 15th, 2021, so almost 5 years.
Okay, okay. So yeah, a little while. That's not bad, not bad. So let me ask you this: going back to the whole movies, books, and all that stuff. What would you consider to have been your favorite movie? You said that you don't really consume that much now, but I presume that at some point you did consume movies and stuff like that in the past.
Um my probably the movie I've watched the most in my life is way probably about as old as me and you combined. Old Yeller.
Oh, great movie.
Yeah, no. My mom had to rebuy the VHS 3 times because I wore it out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I remember those days.
And now I just have it. I bought it on Apple, and now it just sits on my phone. Whenever I'm feeling nostalgic, I'll just toss it on.
Oh man, I
You know,
remember.
Other than that, I would say Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. I'm a nerd. I may not look like it. I'm a nerd. I'm a fantasy nerd, real bad.
Oh, I'm right there with you. I'm a big fan of Lord of the Rings. I was actually on the last Farm Sim talk with Farm Sim talk, enunciate my words, with Boganery, and we ended up talking about Lord of the Rings. He was a big fan of Lord of the Rings, both the well, mainly the books, not so much the movies. But I mean, just an amazing series. The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, is just fantastic all the way around. Uh, so, what about like some of the oddest or weirdest movies that you've seen up until this point?
Oh goodness. In all honesty, I couldn't tell you. I like I said, I'm one of the people that as soon as it gets weird, I stop watching. Like I'm like, okay, this is stupid. I'm wasting my time. And unless like my wife is asleep on my shoulder, drooling on my shoulder, and I can't move or I can't find the remote, I don't keep watching. I'll get up and I'll go do something else. And I've always been that way. If I didn't like it growing up, I would either one, turn the channel, or if I didn't have control of the remote, which usually I didn't, I'd go play with my toys or, go grab my BB gun and go do stupid things.
Oh, I don't know why, but all of a sudden, you'll shoot your eye out. The whole Christmas story thing just came rocketing in my brain.
Thank you for reminding me of every Christmas for the whole 30 years of my life.
Uh-oh.
That is quite literally the only thing allowed to be on our TV from 10 o'clock Christmas Eve to usually around 2, 3 o'clock Christmas Day. In the
Yep.
2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Christmas Day.
Same here, even to this day. I'm an adult. I could put on any other movie I want in my house, and still to this day, Christmas Story, because you know what? Nostalgia.
Funny enough, Christmas Story is actually playing in the background when I propose to the wife.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
I was that guy. I proposed for Christmas.
I mean, it's the most wonderful time of the year. I mean,
It worked.
you,
So
you kicked it up a notch. So the reason I ask about the weirdest movies is that, movies, books, things like that, is because way back in the day, I used to be just a glutton for punishment kind of thing, and it was one of those.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, oh. So me personally, I'm a big Star Wars fan, and growing up, loved the originals, and probably towards the, I don't know, maybe latter end of high school, I ended up discovering something called Star Wars Holiday Special. Are you at all a Star Wars fan?
Dude, I walked out the first 20 minutes of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm love Star Wars. I grew up on Star
Oh,
Wars.
you're saying the holiday special. Okay.
Yeah, holiday special.
Yes. Yes.
That's one that I have walked out on.
Yes. Yes. No, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. And yeah, it would be about the 20-minute mark when, if I remember correctly, you're probably right in the middle of all the Wookiees just jarring at each other. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I've explained it numerous times on this channel and on this show in particular, just how terrible that one is. And I always retort with that one for those Star Wars fans out there who have not seen it. I always tell them, you need to watch it. You need to kind of subject yourself to the punishment kind of thing. But it sounds like you at least started to.
As you can ask my community, I am a slight masochist. So yeah, I did start, and then I'm like, okay, I have like 5 IQ points left. I do not need to put them up for risk watching this.
Yeah, no, I like I said, this is my younger days when I was far more stubborn than what I am now. At least now I'm kind of like, okay, I've got better things to do nowadays. Like I can go onto YouTube and make content, or I can do whatever, outside of just wasting my time on this. So, no, I get you now. So, what would you do if content creation was no longer an option for you? Let's say, your computer blew up or something, you just didn't have the means to replace it. What would you do as an alternative?
Probably actually get to go hunting. Because thanks to Farm Sim, and they always have to release a DLC in the middle of freaking November,
Oh,
right when my rifle season is happening. I don't get to hunt very often.
so being a hunter myself, and being from Michigan originally, one of my honored traditions was heading up to the Upper Peninsula. Got the entire contents of deer camp just all packed away, and the whole trip up there, I'm listening to Da Yoopers. Are you familiar?
Oh, goodness, that sounds familiar.
They got songs like "It's the Second Week of Deer Camp."
Oh, and the 30 Point Buck.
The 30 Point Buck.
Yep. No, that would. Yeah, no. I know that one there, bud.
Oh, don't you know?
That's I would honestly say that's probably where I get the ability to do the accent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from the middle. I'm from Nebraska. Okay, I'm from the middle of, like, if you go and you look at Nebraska and go, nobody lives there. You're probably close to where I live. Okay.
You exist there to prove them wrong.
No. I'm an hour and a half away from Walmart, okay? I'm not here by choice.
Oof. Oof. Oh wow. Yeah, that's quite a
I'm here
distance.
because my wife tells me to be here.
Oh goodness. So, out of curiosity, has it been a dream of yours to be a content creator, or do you feel like you just fell into it?
Actually, it has been probably since I was 15 and I discovered YouTube and I saw that people were doing it full time. It's something that I always dreamt of doing. And, I finally got the kick to do it and I did it. Things went well. Um, I thought there for a little bit it would be an option, but, with the way that, the current state of things, I think, all content creators kind of know how it is right now. We're, we're just we're keeping it where it is, and I'm still hoping and dreaming for it, but it's not one of those deals where it's, here it's just sitting back there, sitting in the back of the mind. Maybe.
So for now, it's more of a kind of a good outlet and a second thing to keep you occupied, kind of thing, but with the hopes of it breaking out into something.
Yeah. Yeah. Reality has stepped in, and it's one of those deals where, all right, cool. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'm still going to be doing it unless, I, as you said, don't have the ability.
Mhm.
That's the only way that I'm going to stop. And if I don't have the ability, I will sell something of mine to make sure that I have the ability. You
Gotcha.
know, I enjoy it too much.
So, what spurred you to create the channel?
Bullying.
Bullying.
Yeah. This channel is a product of being bullied by some very well-known content creators in the community.
So, I mean, you don't have to drop names or anything like that, but I mean, that sounds like there's a story.
Yeah, no, I'll drop names because I've dropped names 100 times on it, and I've even had them admit it on their own channels. Clutch and DJ bullied me into this channel.
So, okay, hold on. So, DJ Goham and Clutch Simulations, they ended up bullying you to create, like, walk us through how this occurred.
So, all this started one day. I didn't understand how a mod worked or something, and I just messaged DJ. I'm like, "Hey, I don't understand this. I know you don't know me. Could you help me out?" I didn't even have a channel at the time, and he's like, "Yeah, no." And I'm like, "I'm sorry if I'm bothering you. If I'm bothering you, you don't need to respond." I was walking the lines of, I know your time is precious. So, if I'm breaking it, let me know. And lo and behold, DJ started talking to me. We became friends. Then one day I may and or may not have had a few libations and felt ornery. I challenged him to a farm build on his channel that his channel could vote on to
Uh-oh.
see who won. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, being on this side of it, I realized my folly. And by that point in time, we had gotten to be good friends, and everything else. I was one of his moderators. I was one of Clutch's moderators. I had his phone number and everything else. I was able to, just talk to him as DJ and 4B, not, DJ Go Ham and 4B Gaming. It was just, we're just two guys having fun. We get along. And I made the dummy remark because I'd just gotten a computer and everything else. Didn't even know how to run Discord, but I was like, it'd be freaking crazy if Clutch showed up. Well, I didn't put 2 and 2 together that they were as close of friends as they were. About 5-10 minutes into the farm build, Clutch shows up, does what Clutch does. I got shot the whole entire time. I fired back. He, and it was a nice little volley of everything else. And once we got done, how do I say it? They said I was I was a big dummy for not having a channel. And well, I went and I thought about it. And trust me, I will be honest, that is not the words that they used at all. Think of the words that we're not supposed to use no more. All right. We're 80s and 90s kids. Don't judge us. I'm sorry. But it was different back then. But I thought on it for maybe a couple weeks, and then I started the channel. It took me a week just to edit my first video and just to get the gumption to hit, make it live, and to upload it and everything else. And here we are now. Who said bullying can't do good things?
I mean, it's one of those things that I've made it well known that this show is the product of bullying, and it was one of those where I think that it's a very, I don't want to say it's a positive thing, but it can be turned into a positive. Like you said, it's one of those that you can sit there and let it kind of fester and demoralize and harm you, or you can use it as fuel to push yourself into a positive direction. And
don't get me wrong, I will say this, as a person and everything else, like, there is such a thing as bad bullying. There is destructive bullying. I'll say this, I've said it 100 times before. I am a huge, bullying is it's all right. Destructive, bad. Don't ever do that. Don't ever bully to be mean or just to be hurtful. Constructive bullying, which created this channel, is actually not that bad. If you know the person well enough, and you can be, it's just like constructive criticism. If they can handle that, it's literally just constructive criticism, constructive bullying. It's just constructive criticism with a little bit more spice. Okay.
okay. I can see that.
Yeah, no, like it's just a little bit more pushy. And that is, if they're your friends, bully your friends. Don't let people bully your friends, though. Only you get to bully them.
I tell you what, though, if the likes of DJ Go Ham and Clutch Simulation says, "Hey, you're being dumb, do this," it's probably a good thing that you listened. I mean,
yeah, no, that is, well, when I went to the 25 early access and finally met Clutch, like I sat there and I was like, "Hey, I need you to," and then went, "Oh goodness, I can feel the rainbows creeping in. What do you want?" And I just went, "No, I want to thank you because you both were mean to me, and it was good. It put me here. It's if somebody is if you can tell that somebody is trying to push you, and this goes for life, and a lot of people on my channel know that I try to take situations on Farm Sim and apply them to life. Because I played a lot of sports growing up, and that's kind of what my coaches did. My wrestling coach, it was never about wrestling. And he would flat out tell us this. Wrestling is not about wrestling. Wrestling is life. It's just you for the whole match. All right. Yes, you have your team. Yes, you have your backups. You got people to support you, but it's just you. And I try to use a lot of the things in Farm Sim. Like, we both live stream. We all got that one kid. We got that one kid. And just saying it, I know you know exactly the kid I'm talking about. The kid that's just, I'm going to be obnoxious. I want you to pay attention to me.
Mm-hmm.
I need your verification and everything else. Now, granted, if you guys can't tell, there is a cactus back here. And, well, the cactus says that you're number one, but I'm being polite. And my members are the Cactus Crew. Okay. Yeah, no, they are the Cactus Crew. I did have a koozie of it, but and we are prickly, but it depends on how you are or how prickly we are. And there's that fine line, but a lot of the times whenever it comes to, like, say, that kid, I will take those moments and be like, hey, we're going to teach a life lesson here instead of playing Farm Sim. That's the way that I try to do a lot of things whenever it comes to this. I don't demand respect, but I try to teach it. Hey, we're still people too. We've always been, we are people. We've always been people, and with a lot of times, that's how I try to run this. It's just, hey, you're doing this wrong. This is why it's wrong. Let's try to fix it. If they can't fix it, you're gone. But consequences of your own actions too. So it is still learning a life lesson. We make sure that it is, well known before anything ever happens. This is the consequences of your own actions. I mean, shoot, whenever we live stream, we have a timeout counter right here. Right here on the screen all the time. We keep track of the number of timeouts every live stream.
Okay.
It's a game for most of the people, though. There's that meme of, it's like a reward. That is 98% of my community. But, we also try to be again, constructive bullying. We come back to that. We don't try to bully everybody. We step it up, just be constructive, and then constructive criticism, and then, all right, we're going to constructively bully you. But we're going to do it with love. I promise you.
I gotcha. No, and all that makes total sense. It's almost like, how do I say this? It's almost like that kind of force progression.
Hey, can one of your moderators do me a favor?
Yeah.
Or better yet, hold on. Let me, because we got to give somebody their reward.
Uh-oh.
Okay. When you hear the sound, time out Joe Braxton Anders. Just give him a tenner. You ready?
Let's hear it.
Did it go? to play through?
I didn't catch it now.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I got to hit my stream deck. Where is it? Oh, that's why. Where's chat? There it is. Look. Oh, well, just hit him. I'll play the sound here in a second.
Tanner confirmed.
Because that is one of them, actually. That is the most easiest way for people to get timed out. And that's exactly why he did it.
Oh, jeez.
That is going to be annoying. I don't know why that's not playing.
So,
oh well.
You'd mentioned before that you're married and that you have a full-time job outside of YouTube. So how do you come up with that balance between the home life, the work life, and the content creation life?
I don't. I truly don't. I just wing it. And there's more times than not. See, like whenever I was talking to you earlier, through messages, you said you don't work weekends. That is when I do all of my content.
Mm-hmm.
I record all of my content on the weekends. It is very rare that I will do anything during the week because I already have my other job. And by the time I get done dealing with that, it is very difficult for me to be 4B. I'm, as my community says, an already angry leprechaun. And they make it worse.
Oh my goodness.
Like I said, they are the Cactus Crew and they are correctly named.
It sounds like it. It definitely sounds like it could be a bit spicy from time to time.
Oh, you have no idea. I have gotten messages before being warned that, hey, your ads are disabled for this live stream.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Just
on YouTube though.
Mm-hmm.
Twitch, you never get that. You always get the, hey, you played copyright music. I don't care.
It's a little bit more free over there.
Yeah. No, we've gotten a couple slaps on the back of the hand a couple times. Let loose a little too much.
Gotcha.
No, we tend to have fun.
Awesome. So let me ask you this: do you like to travel?
No, but my wife does. So I do a lot of. I do travel.
I laugh because that's exactly the answer I would have gave. Not really, but my wife does.
Every single time I'm sitting there going, you go. I'll work. Just go. Go. And it's, no, you're coming along. Okay.
I don't wanna.
I just want to take my ball and go home.
It's that internal pouting session that you have. It's like,
yeah, pretty much.
So
yeah,
go ahead.
No, that's pretty much the way it is. We do most of our traveling around her birthday, stuff like that. If you've ever stopped in on my streams and seen my Be Right Back screen, all the rivers running in the background and everything else that is happening there, along with, my cheeky little promotions that I popped into there, those are all filmed over at Glacier National Park.
Oh, wow. Okay.
On one of the trips. So, yeah, no, that's kind of my wife's stress relief is going and traveling. So, I guess since I'm married to her, I get to go along.
So let me ask you this: if money was no object, like you could afford any place in the world to take the missus to, where would it be and why?
Mm. It wouldn't be up to me because my wife has such a diverse affinity for the things that she wants, the places that she wants to go, and the things that she wants to do. I would just flat out tell her, "Hey, it's no object. Where?" And then I just ask her, "Where are we going? Where do you want to go?" Because if it's up to me, I'm going to be too stressed out about picking if I picked the right spot. I will just flat out ask my wife, "Where are we going?"
Sounds safer that way.
Not only is it safer, but yes, I know it. Some people can interpret that as you're not trying. But it's not that I'm not trying. It's she picks the place. I usually end up picking some of the activities there, and 98% of the time I do my best to pick the activities that I know that she will enjoy and I may not enjoy, and I get to be the reason that she married me and be a good pack mule.
So on my channel, I've said this many times before. A lot of my viewers will know exactly where I'm going with this, but it sounds like you are scoring brownie points, and it is the husband's job to have more brownie points, more in the positive than having negative points against them. If you're having more brownie points, well then, just so happens that you probably have a pretty decent marriage. You got more negative points against you, maybe not so much. So it sounds like you kind of go into the whole brownie point territory, it sounds like to me.
I'd say I hold a net positive of 0. I'm too ornery.
I mean, here's the thing:
I get them brownie points, and I gotta spend them. All right, and I gotta spend them by poking that big old button.
No, here's the thing: is riding that razor's edge. Riding at 0. I mean, it's still
so
not a
fun.
negative.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
What's the fun of getting those brownie points to put you into the positives if you don't every once in a while spend them? Exactly.
Mhm.
And here's the thing: is like with me and my wife, it's like I'll sometimes I'll spend them like on accident, kind of thing. I know it's wild. I make mistakes, so it's one of those. I always try to keep a good stock in the positive because I don't know when I'm gonna actually just spend them at the random kind of thing. So it's one of those that is probably good to have a few on hand.
I will say this, the wonderful thing about my wife is that she is a saint. Very much a saint. The running deal on my channel is quite literally how. Like it's just how. All right, you're you, she's her. How? You are quite mean and very very ornery, and she is loving and sweet. How? So I have a very forgiving wife most of the time. When I spend my brownie points, I spend my brownie points on purpose. If it's an accidental brownie point spending, they usually get refunded within a week or two.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So, what's one thing that people are generally surprised to find out about you when they're meeting you for the first time?
So are you saying that the one thing that most people say?
Well, I mean, just if you were to just be introduced to somebody for the first time and you were sitting there having a conversation with them, what's that thing that you think would be like the most surprising for them to hear? Or
I
that they
have
would
no
tell you?
idea. I have no idea. In meeting a lot of the community that are I can't say a lot of the community. You know, over the time as I've met a lot of my fellow content creators that are my friends, and the friends that I have made in the community that have, you know, stopped by to visit, or you know, because one of my actual friends that I met from the channel lives an hour north of me. But you know, I've met quite a few. I can't say quite a few, like 10 or 15 people total from the channel, and I would definitely say that one of the most said things are, I thought you were taller.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
I would say that, you know, if there's somebody from the channel, it's usually rides the line of, I thought you were going to be taller, because apparently I have big guy energy. I don't know.
It must be that that orneriness to you. It gives you that kind of bravado that makes people think that you're going to be able to, you know, lord over them.
I don't know. I've had guys that were, you know, 6'4", 6'6", go, I thought you were my height. I wish. I'm afraid if I was your height, I'd probably get nosebleeds from lack of oxygen.
I tell you what, it's actually funny because I recently got into a conversation with somebody, and he's about 5'8", 5'7", somewhere in that ballpark, and he's like, man, I wish I was, you know, your height and all this stuff. It's like it's tough being really, you know, being his height. And I'm like, trust me, dude, it's no picnic being tall. I've got to, you know, watch out for low hanging objects. I hit my head on things all the time. Like, it's no fun. Like my wife's car, perfect example. Every time we've had this car for years. Every time I pop open the trunk, I smack my head on the hood. It's like a Subaru hatchback, you know, one of the Foresters, and the thing will swing out. I go underneath to grab all the groceries because, like you said, you know, the pack mule, and I'm going to grab everything. Smack! I just crack my head on it every single time. You'd think I'd learn by now.
You know, I'm not gonna. This is little messed up, but I ain't gonna lie. You're like, dude, we hit our head all the time, and all that popped up in my mind was that scene from Ted. I'm a little messed up, but will you still love me? I think my stuffing's a little messed up now.
I haven't seen that in years. Oh my goodness.
I haven't
So
seen that
long.
since college.
Oh wow. You have officially made me feel old.
Don't feel bad, bud. Don't feel bad. I'm right behind you. I've been out of college for 10 years now.
Okay.
I'm 30.
Oh, so you still got some time. I'm almost actually here in what is it? We're on the 14th. Here in about 3 weeks, I'll be 42.
You're actually about the average age of all my friends.
Well, I feel like I'd be at home with all your friends.
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier that you don't catch a lot of like content, whether it's through like movies or anything along those lines. But I'm sure at some point there must have been a time where you're catching at least some kind of content. Is there any kind of stuff that you tend to watch outside of the farm sim space? Like whether it's like
Blitz,
YouTube or Twitch or any of the
like
other
Brandon
socials?
Herrera. Um, I watch him quite a lot, especially, you know, whenever he's building his guns and stuff. Fat Electrician, watch
Mhm.
him. He's hilarious. And
Hysterical.
I can't stop any of his videos once I start them. But that's also because he uses Jedi mind tricks and has a metronome playing at 90 beats per second as he talks. You know, so it naturally draws you in. You know, Donut, I love watching Donut. I watch,
Mhm.
as I said, like Blitz. Um, yeah, no, a lot of the Frankie on PC. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. I literally grew up watching him. Like he's been around forever, and
Yeah, that's not what I'm familiar with.
he took off like 2 or probably 3-4 years ago at this point. Now every now and then he'll pop out a video, and you know it's like a reward whenever whenever he does it. But it's that's the type of content that I tend to watch a little bit more. Usually a lot of the bigger channels that I'll watch, and Kentucky Ballistics. I love watching Scott.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you pretty much nailed every single one of the streamers or content creators I tend to follow as well. Like, of course, the AK guy. I mean, Fat Electrician is hysterical. One of my favorite things that he does is the whole "buh," and he slaps on that decomp helmet, and he's like playing the detractor kind of thing from his videos, like the negative comments that he would see in one of his videos. Oh my
I don't know
goodness!
what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about at all.
Oh, but yeah, no, it just absolutely hysterical. It's just one of my favorites right there. But let's see. So if you can meet any three people, who would they be and why? And we're talking anybody from the past, present, whether they're like famous, like family, whatever the case may be. Well, who would those three people be and why?
Oh, that is a really good question. Um,
And to buy you a little bit of time, the reason I ask this question is that it very much gives a kind of window into those people that you find of value. So it's one of those like, if you were to say, "Oh, I'd love to see, or I'd love to be able to meet George Washington because I'm a big fan of history, and him being the kind of founder of the country, he fought and for our freedom to build the country and all this stuff. Like, it would be amazing to do that." Or I'd love to be able to meet my great 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 grandfather, because I wanted to be able to know how he lived and what he went through and what it kind of led up to me, kind of thing. So yeah, that's kind of the whole mindset behind the question.
um, this might surprise people. Uh, one of them would be Baxter Black, a cowboy poet, just to meet the person. You know, figure out all of the, the fluidity, the how to bring the emotion of spoken word and everything else. For those, a lot of people probably don't know this. I actually did speech and one act and stuff like that in high school, and one of my speech deals was actually poetry.
Okay.
Another one that I would love to meet. Goodness, no, who else? I really can't think. One that popped into my head was Edgar Allan Poe.
Okay.
You know, just
Quote the Raven,
is like,
nevermore.
huh?
Quote the Raven, nevermore.
Exactly, and based off of like, as a lot of people probably know, like he had pretty much a tragic life. It kind of sucked. So I think it'd be kind of nice to meet him, and maybe try and attempt to spread a little cheer there. And actually, probably another one would probably be the Fat Electrician. And that one wouldn't be just a like meet and greet type of deal. That'd be like no, you teach, meet me, student.
I couldn't imagine like being in the same room as him and just being able to just pick his brain, because the amount of knowledge that he's got to have just kind of tucked away about history and just pretty much all the kind of, like the world wars and the strategies and the individuals, it's just mind-boggling, just all the research he has to do in order to be able to make even one of his videos is just beyond mind melting to me.
And in all, that's actually probably where I would really want to talk to him about, because I am a major history nerd. Like I love, like I've always thought to myself, if you don't know your past, how can you know your future?
Mm-hmm.
Because the past always tends to repeat itself until you do something to change it. And that is something that I think, actually, I think my history teacher told me that in, I want to say freshman year. And it's just something that's always kind of stuck with me. And I, just kind of have always ridden that out. And if I can learn something from people, I always love to learn. That's the one thing I've never stopped doing, is trying to learn something. That's just what I do. Like, it's whether it's history, how to properly take the messed up jumble of words and bring it out into a fluid, cohesive, sentence, and have that properly structured. That's, something that I would love to learn. And he is a master at all of that. And that's why I would love to do it, and just learn,
Yeah,
you know,
no.
and potentially become friends with him, because I think he'd be a really cool dude.
Oh yeah. I mean, I could imagine just any one of them, of that whole kind of group right there. I think they'd be absolutely hysterical to be around. It would be nothing but just laughs and like good times all the way around. I
I,
could only imagine.
I would guarantee without a shadow of a doubt that I would, if I was in the group with them, I would be the lowest IQ by far. Because and I'm not saying that to be self-degrading either. That's, I'm not saying that I'm not intelligent or anything else like that. Those guys are insanely smart,
Yeah.
right? That's how they've gotten to be the way that they are. And that's how they've gotten to the places that they are. Yeah, they've probably had some luck and everything else in there too. But I always try to surround myself with people that are better than me. I never did that very well in growing up, and had some issues because of that. But, now that I've gotten a little bit older, a touch wiser, I try to surround myself with people that are better than me, or that I feel are smarter than me, that can constantly be teaching me things. And granted, if I ever surpass any of those people, it's not that I don't, like, I don't try to just go, all right, cool, thanks, bye. It's all right, cool. Now I want to bring you with me. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's also something that we really try to do in the community. Like, I think Saturday, I messaged somebody from the community that we haven't seen in a few years. I was like, oh, I think I messaged them before. I'm gonna message them. I gotta check in on them. You know, one of those things. We always try to keep track of each other.
Mm-hmm. I mean
Hold
that.
on, I got a child. I got one of the dogs screaming at me.
Uh-oh. But I was actually going to lead to my next question, was asking about pets. I mean, question not asked but answered. But but no, just kind of piggyback off of what he was saying there. It's one of those where focusing on the history portion that you were saying, the one statement that really kind of honed in on me, and very similar, I think it was one of my history teachers growing up. It's like, if you don't learn history, you're doomed to repeat it. kind of thing. And it was how they said it, the kind of impact behind their inflection to it really kind of stuck with me. And it was one of those that I think also helped develop not only the passion to know, the past, but to also have that reverence for those who are older than me that will, have those life experiences. They'll be able to pass on that knowledge that, I may be oblivious to, that so many people might be oblivious to. That's why I always held like my grandparents and people who are older than me in high regards. It's like, look, they've got the wisdom. I want to know it, kind of thing. I don't want it to just be lost with them, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Also,
go ahead.
ooh, if you're a young gun in the chat right now, this Saturday, get up about 7 a.m., go to the coffee shop. Just go to the coffee shop. Sit down. Ask the old guys if you can sit down with them. Shut up. Unless you talk to. Answer their questions, but just listen. You will learn more than a lot of people have learned in their whole entire lifetime sitting at that table. I promise you. And it'll mean the world to them as well. So, it will make it an old guy's day, or a few old guys' days, and you'll be learning something. Do it. I used to do it as a kid, and I think that helped out a lot to shape me into the person that I am.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's absolutely great advice. Is like I said, just that's not even just sit back and listen to those who are older than you. Just sit back and listen in general. Close your mouth and just open your ears, kind of thing, and you'll be amazed on just how much you actually pick up on. Especially if not only are you like willing to take it in, but then willing to act upon it, kind of thing. Like it's amazing in how much people are so quick to just start flapping their lips and not know what they're talking about, kind of thing, rather than absorbing the information around them that's coming in most times for free, kind of thing. It's always mind melting to me. It's funny because I actually did a stream last night, and I had a couple of my members on with me, and we actually got talking on this very same subject last night. So it's actually kind of funny that it's kind of come full circle here tonight.
Yeah, no. I mean, shoot, there have been plenty of occasions where, like, as I told you earlier, I grew up at a feed yard. Okay, I grew up around cattle, doing all that stuff, and a lot of the members know it. And there have been plenty of times where we've been recording something or even doing a live stream, and somebody's asked me a question just out of the blue. I go, I don't know that, and I will literally stop, pull up my phone, call my dad, put it on speaker, and the first thing I'll be is, "Hey, we're live," and then I'll ask my dad the question, and then we will all learn something together. And I've been called out plenty of times by the members whenever that's happening. Be like, "Dude, you just have that sheer look of a child in awe, or the stupid guy that found the crayons. We can't tell which, but you look happier than heck." And it also, it comes back to the learning something from the older generation. Now, granted, I'm not in the feed yard business. Why would I be happy to learn that? I don't know, but I am. It's I find that most of the generation anymore isn't listening. They're just waiting for their turn to talk.
Yep.
And that's it. And as soon as they get an opportunity to do it, that's what they do.
Yep. No, I couldn't agree with you more. I'll give you a funny story from my life. My father, he's always been like a real hard worker. He when we were well, when I was growing up, he was a heavy duty field mechanic. So he would go out and working on the big Caterpillars, the engines, and the whole 9 yards. Um, and he also did a lot of like construction and all that stuff. Later in life, he became like a contractor and just did a lot of general like contractor work, down here in Florida where I live now. And it was one of those where there was something going on with my car, and I went outside. I went to start messing around on it, and uh, he comes out there. He sees me outside, messing around with it, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm fixing my car." And he's like, "How do you know how to do that?" It's like, "Dad, we did this like to one of my old cars, back when I was like 17 years old." And he's like, "Holy crap, I forgot about that." And he's like, "But how do you know how to do this?" Because I watched you. It's like I
Mhm.
wasn't just there holding the light for you, kind of thing.
I actually paid attention, Father.
Yeah. And it was one of those, like, it blew his mind because he thought I was just out there like being bored kind of thing. But he
Mhm.
realized, like, holy smokes, like he actually listened. Like he actually he absorbed what it was that was going on, kind of thing. And it was just kind of like what we're talking about of shutting up and opening the ears and watching and absorbing the information that's being presented to you, and you'd be amazed on the things that you'll learn if you are willing to learn them.
Mhm. Well, we actually had something similar happen with me and my dad. Actually, at the Kansas City trip, at the beginning, going down to the PBR at the beginning of the month, because I took him down there for his birthday, and it was his first actual like big PBR event, which he had a grand old time in. As we were driving down there, all of a sudden my dad just started laughing. And I was like, "Oh goodness, that's the I just had a revelation and I'm about to blow your mind laugh. What's up?" He went, "You know how you always try to be the opposite of me?" I went, "Yeah." Because growing up, every kid always, it's just like that rebellious stage. You always try to do the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "You failed so hard at that." I was like, "What do you mean?" He went, "Well, I went to school, I went to college to be a mechanic. Where you didn't fail is you went to college to be a mechanic and you graduated. You went on to be a mechanic. Everything else. I quit college, went to go help support the family working at the feed yard. But now you go and you don't work at the feed yard anymore, but you still have a feed yard on your computer. So you are just like me, but virtual." And I went, thanks. Thanks for that. My dad's name is Lonnie, and my mom and even my wife, like, there'll be times where I'll say, like, I'll holler at the dogs or something, and like all of a sudden, dad voice will come out. And she's like, "All right, Lonnie Jr." And my mom will do the same thing. Oh.
Oh goodness. It, it's one of those that there's been so many different opportunities before my mother passed where she would have said the same exact things, like, and it's more of the kind of revelation to in her that is like, "You're acting just like your father." Oh goodness. And it's like, I mean, it can't be all bad.
Oh, my favorite thing is whenever my mom tells me I'm acting just like my dad, and I went, "Well, good. That means you love me a lot because he acts like this, and you stayed with him for like 30 years. So
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
that just means I'm making you love me more. This is great."
So let me ask you this. Last question I got for this segment. What was your first paying job?
Feed
Feed yard? Okay.
I went and I was cleaning the watering tanks at the feed yard the day I turned 12.
Okay, so you started pretty early.
Yeah, no, legal age to get like a actual, like, not under the table paycheck in back then was 12 years old. So my dad said, "Happy birthday. You're 12 now. Go talk to Max." And I went, "What do you mean?" Like, "You're getting a job. Now go." So I went, I got a job at the feed yard with my dad and worked there for till I was 22 on an, or, you know, part-time till I was 22, but I was full-time for a good solid 3-4 years.
Gotcha. Well, like I said, that's the last question I got for this segment here. So let's set our sights on the chat and see what everybody has to say so far. Let's see. Again, huge, big, massive shout out to Dust Bunny. Dust Bunny, you are an absolute rock star going through and gathering up all these questions. I greatly appreciate everything that you do here for this channel. It is so awesome. So actually, first question is from her. She asks, where do you see your channel in 5 to 10 years?
I do not know. YouTube is such a volatile landscape that my heart wants to see it, you know, up with like Rhino, you know, like 100, you know, is where I want to see it. But, you know, my, you know, practical side is going, it'll be wherever it is. You know, it's not about the size, you know, because I could do all those things that a lot of people do to build their channels, you know, and everything else and get people to run them for them, but I would much rather, you know, build the community that I want than go at the pace that what my brain wants it to be. You know, so if it's slow, it's slow. It bothers me, yes, but you know, it'll be wherever it is, and wherever it is, I am happy with it.
I tell you what, man. I mentioned earlier how I had streamed yesterday and had a couple of people on there with me. We have now brought up multiple subjects that I had covered in yesterday's live stream that you literally just brought up another part of it. Was the kind of
And
overall
to be
growth.
fair, I literally just subscribed to you yesterday. So I saw the live stream, but I intentionally did not watch it.
I gotcha. That's all right. But it's wild because like we've touched on now two like big topics of discussion yesterday was the kind of overall projection of the channel, and now like now that we're talking, and you know, the whole kind of history and like respecting elders and all that stuff. So it's pretty funny how it's kind of going full circle. Again, Dust Bunny, thank you so much for all you do and your question. We've got a couple of
It is a
questions
wonderful
here.
question.
It was from Sean. I think it's Sean and Dara. They ask, how big of a pain is Big T when it comes to your Alma series?
He's a saint. For those of you that don't know, Big T, I'm doing a series on Alma right now where I am not allowed to hire a AI worker at all. So the only workers that I can hire are actual people in the community. So my members are the only people that can help me on the farm. And he was the first person I hired. And he is an absolute saint. That man, I have to tell him more times than not, quit it. Stop what you're doing. Go sit down and slow down. You are too, as the members know, my favorite saying when it comes to Big T, you are too dang efficient. And it's not dang. He'll be doing 8 different tasks in the background as I'm doing one thing, and I'm just sitting there going, I'm supposed to be the guy that's running myself ragged, not you. Calm down now. But no, Big T is a saint. I have nothing but respect for that man. He is a wonderful human being. Um, he is, I feel that after my papa passed away a few years ago, he just kind of stepped in. And I didn't know it at the time that he did, but at the point that we're at right now, like his phone, like his name in my phone is literally Papa. I have two Papas in my phone. His has one P and Papa had two. That's, it's, he's kind of just become like an adoptive parent to me and one of my best friends.
That's excellent.
I have nothing but praise for the man. He's a wonderful human being.
That sounds amazing. That sounds really cool. Let's see. And their second question was, did Big T really beat you up over touching his Steiger?
He got angry, but no, he did not beat me up. That was just some well added sound effects.
Oh goodness, that sounds hysterical. And the third one, actually from Shane, I think it's Shane Andera. Andera. Mm-hmm.
Shane Anders, if I remember correctly.
If you were,
he told me how to say it one day.
Okay. If you were to have any tractor in real life, what would it be and why?
A Bueller. A 2-wheel drive Bueller.
Really? Okay. You
Just
prefer
for
like
nostalgia?
You prefer the old school?
No. Actually, I prefer Case. In game, I truly like Case. It's either gonna be an old Bueller. Actually, hold on, I can get the exact number for it too, because there is a picture of it over in my Discord. Because I did take a picture because everybody kept asking me about it. But other than that, one thing that I would love to have, it is a 2160 Bueller Versatile.
Okay.
But an 8950. The boxcar Magnums are my favorite.
Nice. All right. Shane and Dara, thank you so much for your questions. I greatly appreciate it. Next one we have is from Cavalier Roy. Cavalier Roy says, 4B, when were you, excuse me, when we're going to play Wreckfest 2 together?
Probably never. I'm not a fan of the game.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. No, and granted, I haven't played it since release, so there have been quite a few updates that have came out for it, but I have like about 1,000 hours in the original Wreckfest. Me and Cavalier Roy have played a lot of Wreckfest together. He's one of the guys that genuinely push me whenever we're playing it. But yeah, no, I'm not a fan of it. It feels different. It's just something I'd have to pick up again. I don't know, maybe sometime.
Gotcha. Roy also asked, is one of the most competitive persons, well, not even ask, more of a statement. 4B is one of the most competitive person I have ever played against, so it doesn't surprise me that he pushes himself IRL as well.
Yeah. That is a true statement.
And another statement says, yes, you might be the cause of some hedges not being removable.
I knew it! That's it. I'm getting my passport. Roy, you better watch out. We're going to fight.
Oh, let's see. I think a couple more comments that Dust Bunny sent me to read off. Got Cavalier Roy addressing Swim Shady. Says, not on the new map. Drummer is been kept as is, was in 17. 4B will love it. Haha.
All right. You say Drummerd?
Drummerd Farms, yeah. Actually did a map tour on it. He was kind enough to send me an early release of it. And then
Well, I'm writing that down in the no-go category.
Okay. Every time I think we're gonna just kind of plow ahead, and all of a sudden it's like left turns, just a series of left turns.
Hey, you know what? I love my squirrel moments. All right.
Let's see. Swim Shady responded back and said, "And there was me sticking up for you, LOL." Jaked up 77, how's it going? Hope you're having a fantastic one, and hope everybody's having a fantastic time so far. He says, I'm praying for the guy. I'm praying for the guys 4B, and don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything.
Oh, I know. I never hesitate. It's just getting to the point of admitting that I need something.
Let's see. Kevlar Roy with another comment says, wait, when you started content creating, I had been making maps for almost 10 years, and almost 15 years later, I'm still going. Actually, not going there. Now I feel old.
I'm sorry that you went to school with Jesus, bud. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, no.
By the way, how is Methuselah, Roy?
Oh, my jaw hurts. Oh, Roy, thank you so much for your comments and questions. We got another one from Dust Money. He says, where did your name 4B come from?
It's actually the family brand. And it's actually not 4B. Hold on.
4B or not 4B? That is the question.
Well, the way that it was originally set up, it was supposed to be my initials. So I have the pen here. And the notebook. So this is the way that this is the way that it's supposed to be. But you're not able to do that. But the original logo was like this. It had all of my initials, LAB.
Oh, okay.
And that is the exact same initials as my dad. And my dad mistakenly went and accidentally branded himself with a 4B on his shoulder doing some welding one day. And then that actually became the brand because, well, there's 4 of us between me and my sister, my mom and dad. So it just kind of worked out that way. And to pay homage, I did that for my game. And I actually asked permission before I did it.
So I think we may have just kind of glossed over something. I know this is your interview and all, but you say that your father accidentally branded himself?
Yeah.
Okay, there's got to be a story behind that, because I just don't feel like that's something that's very common, on accidentally branding oneself.
So he was going and fixing you've seen on Farm Sim like the panel gates, like the panels.
Mm-hmm.
So he welded straps on one side, and then was welded straps on the other side. So he went, and when he reached forward on them fresh welds to pull it up and get it tight, his shoulder was on the other side. And
Ooh.
my father, being my father, finished the welds and then went, "Hey, go get me some ice."
I tell you what, man, The older generation is cut from a completely different cloth.
Oh, I'm right now at this current point in time. My dad has a torn rotator, torn labrum, and torn bicep head, and it's been like that for 2 years.
Wow.
If my dad gets his shoulder here, you can see it go. It just goes bloop,
Wow.
right out the front. And that's also how I got my mentality for all of my shoulders and stuff, because I had shoulder problems before he did. And, I would just walk up to him and be like, hold still, and I would use him to put my shoulder in because it needed to be slightly movable so it hurt less. And then put my shoulder in, go right back to work. And actually, a couple months ago, I got a random call at, I think it was 8 o'clock in the morning. My dad went, I'm sorry. What? For what? In my 30 years on this planet, you have never apologized to me for anything. What are you apologizing for? He's like, I thought you were just being a baby. Proper wording. A baby with how much you said that your shoulders hurt. I now understand. And I was like, didn't matter. Work had to be done. He's like, you're not wrong. I'm like, so work has still to be done, right? He's like, yep. I said, well, then go do it. And we ended the conversation, and he went back to work, and I went back to work. I said, thank you for acknowledging it, but we got things to do. Let's go get them done.
Oh man, that's I can't tell you the number of times where my dad, perfect story, is actually a deer hunting story. I may have been like 15, 16 at the time, and we're out in the middle of the woods up in the Upper Peninsula, and I get myself a buck. And this is one of the first times where, because you only go like once or twice a year kind of thing, and you may or may not come home with something. So my dad's sitting there teaching me all the do's and don'ts when it comes to gutting the buck and all that. And he's like, all right, so this is what you do is you take the knife here and you go like this, and he's sitting there just showing me everything. And all of a sudden he's like, okay, now I'm going to show you the right way to go up the sternum and whatnot. And, and all of a sudden he's like, after he said, I'm going to show you the right way, just all of a sudden he just completely like cuts, like buries the knife into his hand kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And he's sits there, pulls it back out, and he's just looking at it, and he's like, huh, well, that's going to require a trip to the hospital. And I'm sitting there as like 15, 16-year-old, like almost in panic, like not knowing what to do at that point. Because we're out in the middle.
Dying.
Well, yeah, it's like we're out in the middle of the woods. Like we're hours away from anything. And I can't drive. And so we've got to get him out of the woods, get him into where the campsite is, get a hold of the people that we're there with, and have them drive him up to the hospital. Well, thankfully, by the time we had gotten back up to the campsite, somebody else was already there waiting, or not waiting, but they were there. And this is like back in the day when like cell phones were not like a thing, and especially out in the middle of the woods, it's like not a thing.
I remember those days.
Oh yeah. So, thankfully they were there, because otherwise I was going to have to illegally drive the truck, because he's not going to be able to drive. And we have no idea where the closest hospital is. Again, this is before Apple Maps and Google Maps and all this stuff. So we're just like, okay, well, what do I do? So I'm sitting there at the campsite, just twiddling my thumbs, not knowing when he's coming back kind of thing. And he comes back and he's got his hand all wrapped up, and, he had, a whole bunch of stitches in his hand. And he's like, okay, well, I guess we're going to have to hit it hard tomorrow. And he's like, well, what, did you go and get the deer, or did you like bring it back? It's like, well, yeah, I went and got it and dragged it back up to this campsite. But I mean, what do I do from here? He's like, okay, well, you're going to have to do it, and I'm just going to have to walk you through it kind of thing. And the whole time I'm just like, almost in awe. That's like
Mhm.
he's not like complaining about it, because like I saw the knife like bury into his hand, like it was deep into it, like he very clearly like got to the bone kind of thing, and it was gnarly,
Oh,
absolutely gnarly.
I watched my dad take a gate in a gooseneck. The cow kicked the gate before it could latch,
Mm-hmm.
and it caught him right here. Like just
Oh.
flat. Like right on the bridge. His nose was completely flat.
Oh.
And it laid him wide open across the brow, and then kind of laid into this brow a little bit and just flat, even. And I just kind of went, okay, what do we do? I was 16 at the time. He says, well, one, you go and you grab me a towel. I said, okay. I went inside, went to the house, grabbed him a towel. He said, all right, take me to the doctor's office. Like, do I need to call him? They'll figure it out when we get there. He had stitches all the way across his eyebrow. And they went, like, all right, cool, we're going to numb it. And he's like, no, you're not. I need to learn. So they went, they stitched my dad's whole entire eyebrow without numbing medication or nothing. And then they went and they grabbed his nose and set his nose. And he just sat there and went, oh, that's nice to breathe. And just went back to work.
Wow.
I want to know what was in their water, okay?
Oh,
It
like I
must have
said,
been the
man,
lead paint chips or something.
like I said, it just completely cut from a different cloth. I couldn't imagine it.
Oh, I wouldn't even consider it cloth. They're steel and we're cloth.
Yeah, no, that's 100% accurate. 100%. Like you will never feel softer in your entire life than going up to somebody who's, like a generation or two before you and asking them for stories. And especially if there's somebody like who's been in a war or been like a World War II, Korea, Vietnam, like if they're like a vet and you can actually get them to talk about their stories, it's going to be few and far between, but if you can actually get them to talk, you will never feel like a
It's
softer person ever.
it's terrifying.
Yeah.
My great grandpa would talk about it before he passed, and yeah, no, that's actually where my love of history and wars and stuff like that came from. Was from my great grandpa, and yeah, no, mm-mm. I learned about that stuff from a very young age. Of you're gonna be dumb, you got to be tough, and well, I guess I learned that I had to be tough because I was plenty dumb.
Oh goodness. All right. Next one we got here is from Cavalier Roy. Looks like another comment says, if only if only you were constructive in Wreckfest. You certainly destructive in that game. Health gone from 100 to 30, 4B size crushed crushed car remaining. Oh goodness. Cavalier Roy, thank you again for your comment. Oh, why is this shuffling on me? Don't do that, phone. Let's see. Farming with Outlaw Egg. How you doing? I hope you're having a fantastic night so far. It says, one guy I would like to meet is Red Stagel? Red Stagel? 4B probably knows who I'm talking about.
Oh goodness, it sounds familiar. But goodness, after answering all the questions, I can't. Oh, you're gonna make me do.
Yeah, that name I'm not familiar with. Let's see. We got more from Cavalier Roy. And again, thank you so much for your comment there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, no, Red Stiegel, country music singer, musician, poet, stage performer. Yeah. No. He's definitely on there. I saw I could see his face. I could not think of his name. Yeah, no.
Gotcha. Let's see. Got more from Cavalier Roy. Says, kids today think they have all the answers already. One of the hardest things to do for them is to pay attention. When I was a kid, there was the rule, the older, I think it's supposed to be the older the person, the more respect they're showed. And the more you listen to them today, they don't want to hang out with the older people because they feel they know it all already. And the older folks offer nothing new to learn. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty accurate there, Roy.
That is accurate, but also the most wrong thing about the younger generation. Like, I have a nephew that's 13, 14 now. And he actually got panned a couple months ago when I was down there because I said, hey, we're going to the coffee shop. He's like, no, I don't want to go. What am I going to do? I said, we're going to go talk to the old guys. I don't want to. I said, well, that sucks. He's like, what are they going to teach me? And I said, how to shut up.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did what teenagers do and mouthed off, and he learned that I was raised in a different generation, and my back of my hand kind of stung for a few, and my mom just looked at him and giggled, and because my parents raised him, and like he's technically my little brother, I guess you could say now, but yeah, no, he got a whooping over that, and then we still went, and by the time we were done, he's like, okay, I get it now, and that's something that he actually does now. So
see, that's fantastic though. It's those times when you can see the positive gain that's really kind of like heartening, you know?
Yes.
Let's see. Another question we got from Farming with Outlaw Ag says, question for 4B, are you going to play on the Nebraska map when it releases?
Who's making a Nebraska map?
I don't know.
I didn't know anybody was. If it's the same guy that made it before, I might, just to bury the hatchet, but I don't know. It all comes down to, initially when, like in 22, when one of the Nebraska maps came out or was getting ready to come out, I contacted the particular map maker and went, hey, here's who I am. Here's what I do. I'm literally from this town in Nebraska. I grew up in this town. I know the exact place that you're making. I've been there 1,000 times. And all I got was you'll get it whenever it comes out. Click. That's it. Just got completely blown off. And I was like, well, looks like I'm never touching that freaking map. But it's just time just to suck it up, Buttercup, and just maybe look at it. But it's just one of those deals where, again, as we said, like before all this started, like I'm more about how people treat other people, and if you're a good dude and you just go like, hey, and explain your reasoning why behind it, no hard feelings at all. But there was just immediately blown off, which, yes, I get it. It's a map maker. It's their baby. They get to make all those decisions, and that's all within their rights to do. I am not entitled to a thing. I shot my shot. Could have been handled better, I feel, on the other side. And yeah, it's just one of those deals where I might, but the likelihood is low. Just because, just kind of a personal thing. I would love to, though. I would love to, just because I'm a Nebraska boy. I love Nebraska maps.
So I see here in the comments, Farming with Outlaw, it says it's AG Farms is making a Nebraska map, and it's Denman, Nebraska.
AG Farms, yeah, no, Yeah, no, if it's AG Farms, yeah, I'll definitely look at it then.
Excellent.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't break things. That's always my worry with third-party maps.
Let's see. We got a question here from Isaiah Colby. Asks, what's your first map you played on?
Ooh, I couldn't answer that. I started back in 13.
Oh, wow.
I barely remember what I did last week, let alone 12 years ago. I've had way too many hits to the head.
Let's see. Maybe that's Isaiah. I think that's supposed to be Isaiah. Isaiah, thank you so much for your question there. We got one from Legacy Ag says, 4B, all of the content creators' friends have done so recently. So map when?
No. So he in that one he's referring to like Tony, Jake, Matsy all making maps.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even allowed to touch the XMLs without supervision. And by the way, I recently this year got upgraded to supervised touching. So no.
That's pretty good. Supervised touching. Legacy Ag, thank you so much for your question. Next one we got is from Shane Daria. BDD got it correct the last. Hey, I did get it correct. Hey, look at me go. I can read. Legacy Ass says he likes case combines with deer headers.
Who's that from again?
That was from Legacy Ag.
Oh no, I only like those whenever Legacy's in chat.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. He's OCD.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Oh yeah. I love red with green or anything that mismatches that you could potentially match up to make everything the same brand. I love mismatching it, especially whenever he's in chat because, well, I am the Cactus King.
So it's one of those that a general sense of Christmas is in the air, is what you're telling me.
Well, funny enough, like at the feed yard, when I was there for harvest season, we actually did run a John Deere header on a case combine. So
oh wow,
it doesn't bother me in the slightest to do that. It's one of those where, yeah, if that's what you got to do, you do it.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody's very OCD, so I get a lot of entertainment out of this. Because you can slowly start seeing his words start smoldering the longer that it's it's on camera. And then eventually he just stops talking.
Oh no.
And then you get you get Barry. We'll call him Barry, that one meme that used to we'll talk about it after the stream. Or you get told all the many ways that you are number one afterwards.
Oh, let's see. Legacy Ag, thank you so much. Let's see. So before I continue on with the questions, normally I try and have the stream be about 2 hours, but we have tons of questions. I think you have officially set the record for the number of comments, questions, like by far. Like this is actually rather insane.
I will keep it short and concise from here on out.
Well, so if you're willing to continue, I'm more concerned about taking up your time. So if you want to continue, we can continue. But if you're wanting to, start wrapping things up, we can also do that.
No, I'm good.
Awesome. Well, then let's
keep on. If they got questions, I'll answer them.
Excellent. Well, let's keep on trucking. So Cavalier Roy says, okay, Wreckfest 2 is getting better, but in all honesty, truth is not there yet. Let's see. So next one is from J Meister. Says, Jay Meister, how you doing? Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. 4B, what made you get into playing Rocket League?
Oh, my friends actually. I started playing Rocket League on PS4. Because my buddies told me to download it because it was free, and well, I downloaded it, liked it a little bit. That was back in the days where this was my internet source. I had to mobile hotspot for any sort of internet. So I didn't get that really great a connection off it. I quit playing it for a while, and then Lead Dog, one of my friends, and also one of the other guys that are one of the hired hands on Alma, was playing it, and we had moved into this house that we're currently in, and I had better internet and haven't stopped playing it since. That was a couple years ago.
Excellent, excellent. Jay, thank you so much for your question. Next one we got here is from Kevlar Roy. Says, I'll be waiting at the airport, but not to fight, but to have a drink with you 4B.
Oh, I'm still popping you. I'm still popping you in the shoulder. You're not getting out of that one. I don't care if the cops come. We'll do it after the drink, but I'm gonna do it.
From what it sounds like, it might come as a result of the drink. Oh, goodness. Kevlar Roy, thank you again. Next one we got is from Blake Williamson. Says, someone...
what did brother say?
As someone who knows 4B all too well, he actually asked for help. That's bad. And when we are running some COD 4B.
Whenever, man. You just gotta message me. I'm always down. Yeah, no. Blake is actually my longest friend in my life.
Oh, really?
We have we're at 26, 25, 26 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we met in pre-K.
That's awesome, man. I tell you what, it's so rare to find like friendship for that long.
And he broke my collarbone.
Oh.
Again, if you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough.
I'm trying to remember what song that is. Isn't it like oh goodness.
Yeah, no. If you're gonna get knocked down, you gotta get back.
Well,
you
no,
get back up.
If you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough. It was wasn't it off of like the Blue Collar comedy tour or something like that? One of the
oh goodness, we have Google. Why are we questioning this?
Because we
Roger Allen Wade.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Now I don't have that inkling in the back of my head of why do I feel dumb?
Stay awake at night.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Isn't that the worst feelings? Like you got it like right on the tip of your tongue, but you just can't bring it up there. Ugh. Let's see.
It usually hits me about 2 a.m. because I'll be laying there like, why can't I go to sleep? Like, why am I? Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
And then as soon as you think of it, you're like, okay, now I can go to sleep, and you pass out in seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, I'm the same way. Same exact way. Let's see. Farming with All Eggs says, another question you have seen about the Nebraska map. Another question you've seen about the map. I'm not quite sure what you're getting at there, Outlaw. If you can clarify, I'd appreciate it. Next one we've got is from, let's see, Spykey. Got, older generations are built but different. Get her, oh well, keep on going and tend to the injury later. Yeah, 100%. Todd, Reaver Time Todd, how's it going? Hope you're having a fantastic one. Says duct tape and super glue.
Hey, you are missing the vital ingredient.
Dirt.
You gotta rub dirt in it first.
I knew it. See, I told you, like, we can be friends. Like, I'm just saying, man. It's like, let's see. Outlaw says, part 2 of my questions are going to play on the Nebraska map when it releases. Are you going to play on the Nebraska map when it releases?
Maybe. I don't know. It all depends on what's going on around that time. Right now, things are extremely, extremely hectic. It's, as you know, it's a very difficult time right now. That's putting it kindly.
Yeah, 100%.
I can't even think enough to plan ahead more than maybe 3 or 4 days.
Yeah. Dude, I remember being in that same boat. I remember that same boat, and yeah, it's rough. It is absolutely rough. You are just so much in the zone and in your own head as to, okay, what's the next step? What's the next thing? And it's a continuing series of hurry up and wait.
For me, it is a continuing series of I am by myself driving a car or driving a van and going, but this could go wrong, but that could go wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but this could go wrong, but that could go wrong. And constantly in that perpetual OODA loop of this is going wrong, that's going wrong, how can I fix this? Sorry, one of my cables was all wonky and bugging me.
No worries, no worries. Let's see. Outlaw says it's a standard size map with cattle farms. Nice. It sounds like it's going to be pretty cool. Let's see. Roy says if you started when the game had just come out, then Hagenstead would have been the first map you played 4B.
Probably. I'll say this. I started before Forestry.
Wow. I mean, well before my time. I ended up starting in FS19, and it was because of Markiplier, a YouTuber out there, was playing it with his friends on his channel. I just so happened to stumble across it, and like, this game looks like it would be fun.
Yeah, no, it is. It is quite fun. I've always enjoyed playing it. I really have. It's cost me a laptop.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, 15 cost me a laptop. FS15, because that's when all the third-party mods were really starting to take off and everything else. And yeah, I was dumb. Still am, but not as dumb. Yeah,
Went out and just clicked download, download.
Yeah, and I may or may not have bricked my computer.
Oof.
That was a costly $1,000 mistake.
Oof. Yeah, that's a bummer.
That was back when laptops were not cheap. There was no cheap option.
Yep. I tell you what, man, that's the whole reason I've only just recently gotten into the PC world when it comes to farm sim, within only the past couple of months. And it's one of those where unless I know the person who is like supporting that mod, I'm not going to go out to these third-party sites. You just never know.
There's some that you can be a little bit more trusting with. It does help that, always back it up.
Yes.
Like if you go, just go grab your files, copy them, put them in a different spot, and then go and run it. And if something breaks, then something breaks, upload your backup, or if it completely fries your farm sim, delete it, re-download it, put your files in, and you're good.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. Let's see.
Maxie taught me that one because he did that a few times.
Oh no. Let's see. Lonnie Johansson says, "Hi 4B, how you doing?"
What's up, Lonnie?
Let's see. Next one we got is Trucker Matsy. How's it going, Trucker? Hope you're having a fantastic one so far. Says 4B, when will you play Ark again? We have plenty of Cypods, aka Pokeballs.
Nope.
Do I dare ask?
10,000 hours just to find out that after I quit playing the game, all that stuff became easily obtainable.
Oh no.
It was top tier, bust your butt, 100 hours minimum just to get to it, just to find out it's just now level.
The cake was a lie.
Oh, the cake was more than a lie.
Dude. I'm so glad you got that reference.
The cake was my hopes and dreams as a child, okay?
For those of you who don't understand what just happened right there, The Cake is a Lie is a reference to a game
We
called
dated
Portal.
ourselves.
We
We dated
did
ourselves so
so
much.
hard. So hard. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it's a game
Now
called
you know
Portal.
the cake is a lie.
The cake is a lie. Oh my goodness. That was one of my favorites back in the day. I loved that game. Let's see. Got one last question, or I think it's a statement actually, from from Outlaw. It says, comment for 4B. I'm going to be joining Ag Farms Patreon next week when I get paid and checking out the Denman, Nebraska map. Nice.
You have fun with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I physically could not, I would not be allowed to ever do that. And yeah, no, there's rules stating that, you know, I would, if it is still unless it is released publicly, I can't touch it. So it doesn't matter. Like if it stays behind Patreon, I'm physically not allowed to do content on it. So
Oh wow, really? I didn't know that.
yeah, no, that is a agreement with Giants and being in the partner program. Technically, under if you use Giants editor at all, Giants owns it in there. Small print or whatever is what they say, and you're not allowed to have your mods behind a paywall. And members of
okay.
the partner program. That's why there's been so many controversies over the years of, hey, this person just got in trouble. What'd they get in trouble for? Paywall. That's what they mean by paywall.
Okay. Yeah, I had no idea about that.
The paying, you know, like you pay to get access, that gets, there have been actually quite a few content creators that have gotten a very firm talking to, myself included. I got a very firm talking to for Loma, but I never knew that I was behind a paywall. I was sent it by the map maker to check it out, but it was behind a paywall. I didn't know that, and it was reported to be behind a paywall, and I immediately got told, hey, no more until it's out, until it's public, no touchy. So yeah, if you're a Giants partner, there's something you may not know.
No, I am a Giants partner, and I had no idea about that. So I am so glad you taught me a thing tonight.
And it's not a you're gone type of situation. It's a, hey, you're not supposed to be on that. Yeah,
Well-
yeah. It's a we're gonna. Where's the ruler? Hold your hand out. You know, it's the old school teacher. Like, okay, we're just gonna give you a little talking to, and you're not supposed to be on it. All right, then you just gotta get off it. Like, you can keep your content up that's already out on it, but you know, you're not supposed to do anything until it's out publicly.
Gotcha. No, it makes sense. I mean, you know, Giants being, you know, having the mod hub and everything basically being for free, putting it behind a paywall. Yeah, I could see them kind of taking a little bit of issue with that. So
Yeah, because they want everybody to have access.
Mm-hmm.
Like, despite what you guys might think with the console and PC stuff, they want everybody to have access to the mods. You know, and if you're making people pay And like Legacy just said, it's against Giants partnership rules and Giants terms of service to show off a mod that is locked behind a paywall. Like
Hmm.
they frown upon a paywall greatly because they want it to be out for everybody. You know, and if it's not out for everybody, they want you just to shut up. You know, get it done, get it out.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes total sense. All right, well, that's the last question for that segment of the Q&A. Now it's time to go on to the second segment of the show called Meat and Potatoes, emphasis on potatoes. This is where we're going to get to know you for your content and what it is that you do within the community.
Oh, I
So,
take offense to that. It should be emphasis on the meat.
I mean, yeah, I mean, kind of in keeping on the whole farm sim thing and not really being able to process our animals. Figured emphasis on potatoes.
Yeah. All
But
right, fair enough.
I mean, that was the mindset I went into when coming up with it. But so let me ask you this: you mentioned earlier that you only produce content on YouTube and for Farm Sim, and we kind of briefly discussed some of the other games that you played for your Twitch channel because you kind of segment that to be kind of your catch-all for the other content that you do. So it sounds like you've got a pretty good basis of different games, different game genres, all that kind of stuff. What would you say is like your favorite game amongst all of them to play?
Um, the one that I've been playing the longest, I would say, hmm, which one would that be? Medieval Dynasty. Been playing that for a long time. It's a first person city builder, like kind of like a city builder, but yet like you town builder, but back in medieval times. I play that on occasion now, but I I played that a lot. You know, and I play a lot of like strategy, like city builders, and that's what I really played a lot of in the beginning whenever I started, you know, having access to more games and we got financially stable enough to have more games. And yeah, no, I play a lot of those games, but you know, again, Call of Duty, Arena Breakout, Delta Force. Right now my obsession is Battlefield 6, Delta Force operations, and Arena Breakout. Which Arena Breakout's just Tarkov, but user friendly.
Okay, okay. So, what was one thing that you never expected when you started your channel that ended up happening? So, some examples that I give are the unexpected sense of community, any kind of unexpected backlash, things along those lines. What's something that you never expected that did happen?
My friends, my friends. Uh, for it to surprisingly enough help me with my depression. I struggle with that a lot. Yeah, I used to be really, really bad with it. I lost a lot of people in a very short amount of time back when I was like 18, 19. And that hung around with me for a lot of years. And then I started the channel and everything else. And the community that I made, I was able to hide behind it for a while. But then all of a sudden, you know, one day I just kind of had the realization, you know, I'm all right with being here. And then it hit me. I now know why I'm all right with being here. It's because of everybody, you know, like it some somehow, you know, it burns a lot of people out in that, but you know, we've been in the town that we're in for 7 years now, and up until I started this channel and I met, you know, my friend that lives just north of me now, you know, I had my closest friend was 2 hours away. You know, like I had nobody. It was just me, my wife, and the in-laws. All I had here. Nobody really made friends with me. I was the outsider. Nobody cared. And I started doing this. And then I got more friends. And, you know, I have people that I talk to all the time. You know, I call Matsy, haven't much in a little while, but we've been busy. But, you know, I call Matsy all the time. You know, I call Cowboy all the time. Oh, we hang out. We like shoot. My friend Cowboy just up the road, he just bought my dad's horse. You know, like I've made friends, and haven't just made internet friends. I've made lifelong friends from it. You know, and it's made me a better person. I'd say that's the, you know, just in general, it's made me a better person. For the people that are here that have been here, you know, with me since the beginning, I used to be very, very angry and spiteful, and just I'd get set off by little to nothing. I'm just a very angry person. I think that's why a lot of people started watching in the beginning. You know, it was entertaining for them. But as we've gone on, I feel like I have simmered down a lot. I still have the ability, you know. I just don't have the. I don't want to go there anymore. I don't want to be that guy anymore. You know, and as we said earlier, you know that, hey, look at me, kid. You know, I need your attention. You need to respond right now. That type of person, I was never able to handle that in the beginning. It was shut up, go away, ban, gone. And now, you know, we sit there, we have those moments, we have those talks. We, you know, hey, I'm gonna try and this is why you're bothering me. Now, please, can you do something to rectify that? All right, cool. You're not gonna do that. Goodbye. You know, I try to be more understanding now. Before, I didn't care. You know, it's made me into a more understanding human being, which I don't know if I like, but it is what it is. And you know, I enjoy it. It's, I don't know, it just made me better, I feel.
I mean, that's fantastic. It's that's one of the things that's really kind of taken me off guard too, is that sense of community and the kind of, like you said, the friendships that have been developed along the way, and just the sheer amount of genuinely nice people that are out there in community. Because you and I were talking before the stream went live, and I had mentioned that I've been a part of many different communities over the years, whether it's, playing like my NHL, game, or playing Call of Duty, or whatever the case may be. I've been in so many different games over the years, and it's just one of those where at no point would I've considered like, okay, this person a friend, or like whatever the case may be. It wasn't until I got into this space where it's like I'm talking to these people all the time, multiple times a day, every day, kind of thing. It's like, if you wouldn't call that a friend, then what would you call it? Kind of thing. So yeah, I'm right there with you. It's definitely one of the things that kind of took me off guard the most. And I love it personally. So I completely understand what you're saying with that. It's amazing. It's really cool.
You know, and there's actually a lot of people. Well, Clutch was around before because I'm on my original YouTube account. That's what I made 4B Gaming. I changed the name, everything. And those that know my government name, you know, that were around back then, some people still call me that. And there's some people that still get corrected for that. But, you know, one thing that's come out of it, which, you know, we all like to have that sense of anonymity, you know, and there's still people that'll come in, call me by my real name. And some of my friends, you know, even in VC, will call me by my real name. And it does not bother me one bit. My wife does it, everything. It does not bother me. And people ask, like, why doesn't it bother you? I said, because they meet every requirement. They have my phone number. I have their phone number. I can call them anytime I want. I can go there anytime I want. They can call me whatever they want. They just can't call me late for dinner because if they do that, we're fighting.
That was good. I like that one. I'm gonna remember that.
And that's one of my main things. Now, granted, I have had a lot of those moments like where, hey, or not a lot. I've had a few moments where it's like, hey, you're a good person, and then people change or people go through a bad stretch, and all of a sudden you're the most hated person on the planet. I just write those out and go, okay, I'm mad about this, but whatever. It's like I'm not the one with the issue here. And that's always kind of been the way that I have been. But again, it comes back to, YouTube. Like, it has taught me to take a step back and be a little bit more thoughtful and understanding. And try to understand why they're doing those things. And if I can't understand why they're doing those things, then, we deal with it a different way.
Gotcha. So walk us through a average day where you're going to create content. Like, you wake up in the morning and then at some point throughout the day you're sitting there working on your channel. Walk us through that day.
I get up depending on, what day it is. But on average, I'll get up 8-ish if I let myself sleep in. 8, 9, 10 o'clock, whatever time, because I have my alarm clocks turned off. And every time I get up, I'll get up, go, do all the morning routine, sit down, I'll watch, maybe a YouTube video, scroll TikTok for a little bit, get fully woke up, grab some advanced GG, and come in, sit down, and I won't leave my computer. I think our longest is 12-ish hours on a member stream. But I'll get everything set up. Sometimes it'll take a couple hours to get everything set up and updated. And once we get all that done, I hit the go live button and we don't stop until we're done. If I want to do 2 videos that day, we do 2 videos that day. If we only have time to do one, we do one. It all depends and varies. We've had quite a bit. Like, I don't stop till the work's done. I may go grab a quick bite to eat, but that's it. And that's very rare because I'm one of the people that I don't eat on stream.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if anybody in the community has ate, whether or not they can eat. And I don't want to be that person that, I'm eating and they can't eat. So I don't know what their situation is. I don't want to be one of those people. So I do my best to never eat on camera.
Gotcha. So one of the things that I always attest to is, and this isn't an always kind of thing, but it certainly seems to be something that is more prevalent than not. The world of Farming Simulator obviously is built around farming. With that, there seems to be a very strong connection with the individual players, whether that connection is grew up on a farm, I lived out in the country, I own a farm, whatever the case may be, there more often than not seems to be some kind of connection. And based on our discussion here tonight, you have that connection as well. Do you think that connection is what kind of fed your love for Farming Simulator as a whole and what kind of got you into it? Or do you think it was some kind of other force within life?
Yes and no. It was, because when I got it, I was still working on the farm. It wasn't, I got it because, I wasn't on the farm or anything else like that. It was just, I got it and I was like, hey, it kind of looks cool. Let's try this out. And I enjoyed it, but at the same time, it was one of maybe 2 video games I ever had before, I actually, I hid it on my computer up until I moved out. I had the old school parents of, you're not playing video games. Like we had a Wii that only had Wii Sports. And that was for family time. So, you know, and a Sega Genesis. So I mean, you know, it was one of my games, and I've always enjoyed gaming. And that was one of the first games I ever actually started playing. So I think that is what fueled it more. And then the nostalgia for all the series after that of just, yeah, let's play some Farm Sim. And then it's, oh, hey, I want to do this. And it's just the ever feeding cycle of there's more to do. You know, which growing up on a farm, that's what your brain likes. You know, that's what your brain's used to. It's what you grew up with. There's more to do, so let's go do it. Now the difference is, you know, I got to tell a story with it.
Gotcha. So you mentioned that you've been playing Farm Sim since FS13. Let's kind of walk through as best as we can. You said that you don't really remember a lot of the things that happened, you know, outside of the recent past kind of thing. So as best as you can, let's try and walk through some of your most and least favorite maps through each of the iterations of FS that you've played on.
Okay.
So let's start with your most favorite, and if you want, we can work, you know, 13 to 25 or 25.
Are we doing base game?
Nope, just in general. What was your favorite, whether it's mod, base, whatever the case may be?
My most favorite top tier, it's a tie. It's a tie between No Man's Land, or what No Man's Land became, which was Dual Survival. I ran a series called Dual Survival. We ended up making No Man's Land into a map, a full functioning map. You know, we built it all, me and another guy that I was creating content with at the time. And he kind of stepped away, and it kind of became my baby. And I mean, it was always my baby. I think we put, or I know I put, bare minimum 5 to 700 hours, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I did a lot on there. You know, I had a lot of friends on there, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it greatly. It was actually something that even after the series was done, we would still go back to. You know, we'd still throw up the occasional stream on it, and we'd have, you know, the members had access to it, to a version of it for the longest time, where they could do whatever they want. And then Alma, 22 Alma. But that's just because that's just reverence for, that's what made my channel. You know, I don't know what I did right, but people really liked 22 Alma series, and it did really well for me, and it gave me the, you know, the ability to do what I do now. And again, Alma 25, love it. You know, I'm still on it. I hate to say it, but you know, top 10 would, you know, Spectacle Island would have to be in there.
Love Spectacle Island.
Well, Spectacle was my first 1,000. My first 1,000 view video. And then Midwest Horizons. I love that. That's definitely top 10. We ran a feedlot series on there. It was my first ever 1,000 views in a day. You know, Almost a Farm. Another one I liked. I really liked that one.
Okay.
That was on 19. Even though, you know, people voted for me to do 1 meter potatoes. Not saying who, but Trucker Matsy. Somebody used about 8 bot accounts and their own accounts to vote in a community poll to make me do that. But yeah, no, there's been so many good maps. You know, it's hard to list a bad map without thinking of, you know, 5 or 6 great maps. You know, and there's so many maps that I never even saw or even looked at to even have a viable, you know, opinion on what some bad maps were. Because if I didn't like the map, just looking at the map, I don't touch it. I don't play it. It has to flow right. It has to feel right to me for me to even consider making content on it or even playing on it. You know, back before we had, you know, the access to the mod hub and stuff like that, you know, you made do with what you had. But nowadays, I'm I'm quite picky and, you know, quite spoiled on what I do. You know, I only play what I want to play. And I think that's the wonderful thing about Farm Sim. There are so many options that you should you should never be without. You know, and the people complaining that they want more just, you know, spoiled.
I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah, one of the greatest things that I always attest to in regards to Farm Sim is uh, the ability to a la carte almost everything about the game. You know, if you don't want to play with stones, hey, turn it off. If you don't want to, you know, go through the slog of dealing with potatoes, don't deal with potatoes. If
Mm-hmm.
you want to fast farm, well, go out there and get a mod like you know, Chris Ass and Riley asked, the Colossus pack, and just go to town, kind of thing. You know, it's one of the most dynamic games that like anybody could pick up and be able to find a play style, a map, a you know, whatever, and be able to just run with it. It is the most compatible to just about
Yeah.
anybody, in my opinion.
I mean, that's why it's called a sandbox.
Yep.
You know, technically it's, you know, if you want to get really nitpicky with it, it's not a sandbox. You're doing the same thing, but you know, it is a sandbox. It's a build your own adventure. You want to say that you lost $10 million and the bank repoed all your stuff? Well, then sell all your stuff and get rid of your money. You know, you there's limitless possibilities, and I think that's going to be the biggest downfall of Farm Sim in all reality, because it seems like, especially with 25, like a lot of the community got like super spoiled with 22, and that created a lot of the spite that 25 started off with. And I think we're starting to wear it off a little bit, but you know, it's everybody is just spoiled rotten. And I said it a lot on my side. A lot of people act like a petulant child. You know, and that's why I say it's going to be the downfall of it, because it has so many varieties. And whenever a new game comes out, it's slightly detrimental that, you know, everything isn't right there right away, because people leave because it's not there right away, and they're used to it being right there right away.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh,
I don't know.
I completely understand what you're saying because I mean I saw it with 22 going to 25. I heard so many different people, you know, coming by and saying I can't get into 25 because, you know, I don't have access to this mod, or I can't get into it because there's not any maps, or and they would sit there and they just continue playing 22 for the longest time. I even still hear it to this day. You know, we're almost an entire year into the game itself, and I'm still getting comments from people. It's like, oh, I can't play it right now because it's not enough, kind of thing. It's like, okay, I mean, that's your opinion. That's all fine and dandy, but I mean, you just gotta be patient. And I think that's what so many people just haven't developed is patience. I don't know.
I wouldn't even say that they haven't developed it. Because I've seen even a lot of older people, like it's not enough, and it's not that they haven't developed the patience for it. It is that everybody has lost the patience. We live in we get gratification right now,
Mm-hmm.
instant gratification, and everybody's trained themselves to do it, and it's easy. Just go back to do, hey, cool. All these mods are here. I can do whatever I want over here. Instead of, hey, I'm gonna learn this and go with it as it goes. That's difficult. Beginning, I wanted to go play 22 sometimes. I never did. Ever since I got 25 installed on my computer, I have not opened up FarmSim 22, and I never will. That is just, I did that with 19 when 22 came out. I never will open it. It's still on my computer, but I never will, because I'm not going to let myself go back and plus, you see those people going back and playing, and you're like, yeah, no, I couldn't go back there. That looks, I can't stand that like, how did I play with those graphics? I thought those graphics were great, but but then again, everybody's allowed, and that's the wonderful thing about FarmSim. There's so many iterations of it. You can go do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Todd, I'm a pack rat. All right, you leave me and my stash of games on my computer alone. All right, just let me mourn and grieve about my loss of storage space. Okay.
So it's funny because I'm sitting here chuckling and laughing because throughout the entirety of this night, we've been having this conversation. It's going on for almost 3 hours now. And even with the, 30 minutes beforehand, it's almost scary, like almost one of those situations like brother from another mother kind of situation where we're sitting here talking and it's like man, it's like okay, that's eerily similar. That's eerily similar. Yes, same. I feel the same exact way. Like every single thing that we've hit on tonight, like it is almost like that is me. Like if it wasn't physically impossible for me not to have a red beard and have a shaved head kind of thing, like right here on the stream, I'd feel like we were the same person. Like it's been almost like doppelganger so far.
Yeah.
And it's just wild. The we were talking about earlier, the friends that you meet and all this kind of stuff, and it's like it's wild to just kind of see all this stuff kind of being represented throughout the night. It's almost, no, you know what? I won't say that. I was gonna say it's almost scary, like just how like closely aligned like
Oh no, you
we've
can
been
say
tonight.
that. That's a reaction I get quite a bit. That's the reaction I get with a lot of my friends when they become my friends. Whenever it's like, we have the stepbrother moment. you know which one I'm talking about. I'm not quoting it.
Oh my goodness.
Did we just become best friends?
So looking back, we were talking about favorite maps and whatnot. If you had the power, let's say that you were granted some kind of wish, whether it's from giants, from the modding community, whatever the case may be, and you could just go ahead and snap your finger, and all of a sudden, a map, any map that you had played on, could then just be magically imported into FS25. What map would that be, and why?
It wouldn't. it wouldn't be a map that it would be my map. It would be dual survival. Without a shadow of a doubt, it would be dual survival.
Okay.
That is a map that I wouldn't care if it destroyed my channel. I would play it till the next game came out. You know, I would love it. I would make the fields a hell of a lot smaller. There's literally one field that is a quarter of no man's land.
Wow.
Yeah, my friends are not nice to me.
Oh, let me ask you this. Do you get this on your channel? Because I've recently started getting this, and actually there's a few people in here tonight that I've seen that you know are part of my channel, and they are guilty of this. Do you have this where you almost feel like you have hate watchers? And what I mean by that is that they just love to torture you.
That's my community. Hold on. I'll show you.
Uh-oh. He's got props, everyone. But no, it was, so it's funny because there's been so many times where I'll be doing a stream and then somebody will come on there and it's like, oh, hey, you know, do this, do that. It's just like you're doing this to torture me. Like, okay, I mean, it's fine. It's fine to do it, but thought we were supposed to be friends.
No, you should definitely just watch how happy chat gets just seeing this.
Uh-oh.
So, those are darts. Those are Nerf darts.
Okay.
Here's what they look like.
Sure, sure.
Oh. That's what it's powered by.
Is that like a full-blown CO2 cartridge?
Yes. It is a 12-gram CO2 cartridge.
Like full-blown, like what you would use in like one of the old school like paintball hand pistols.
Oh, just you un momento.
Oh no.
Hey.
I feel like we need that kind of Western music.
I know you heard that.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, no. At $15 a shot, I know that they love to torture me. There's no question about it. It is a guaranteed outcome. And I know that my wife loves it. Because she's the one that gets to shoot me.
Oh no. Oh no. It just okay. Now I understand where you're going with this.
Yeah. This is part of the live streams when my wife is home.
Oh no.
I've been so bad one day that this is all I could do with my right side the next day. Yes. There's no questions about it. I know my community loves to torment me.
Oh my goodness. I don't know why, but it took me so long to realize like you're saying that they are actually having like you like hit with the darts. Like I don't know why it took me that long.
They are even worse. They do it randomly. So I have to go get my wife to do it. They are like my mom telling me to go pick a switch from the willow tree.
Oh no. Oh no, no, no.
Yeah, and every time I do it, it's no, really, no, that one's too small. Go get her. Go get an actual switch. All right.
Thicker than your thumb.
Oh, you had that mom too?
Oh yeah.
There has been a full willow tree at every house we have lived at, if that tells you anything. A weeping willow. Yeah.
Was full being the key words.
Yes. Yes, was full.
Oh goodness. Okay, recover. Whew.
No, Todd, there's only one reason why that costs money. And that's because it causes actual physical harm. It will legitimately leave a welt like that.
Oh, I have no doubt. I have no doubt that thing leaves a mark.
Quarter to $50. There have been times where my whole entire shoulder from here down to my the middle of my bicep has been just one solid bruise.
Wow. I mean, like I said earlier, that's the same cartridge that would power one of the old school like paintball pistols, right?
We've gone through. There was one time we had a Darts for Hearts, so it was Valentine's Day. I said, "Screw it, let's have a Darts for Hearts," and we went through a whole entire. At the beginning of the day, I put a brand new cartridge in. We went through a cartridge and like a quarter.
Wow.
54 shots.
Wow. Holy smokes. Yeah, I bet you were, quote unquote, loving life afterwards.
I called in.
Guys, I can't turn the wheel.
I couldn't pick up parts.
Oh, no.
I physically. I wasn't able to pick this up. I went to put this on my belt. I couldn't.
Wow. Holy smokes.
Yeah, I was a little messed up.
And was the missus like the whole time just kind of giddy and laughing, or did she eventually start to feel bad?
No. she
So it sounds like
I'll
our
say
wives
this.
could be friends too.
I'll say this. Yes, she felt bad, but she only felt bad when she hit me in the head.
Oh my goodness.
And she felt bad and then she did feel bad when she noticed that I had lost all function of my arm. She's like, "You need to call it off," and I'm like, "I can't. I still have another 20 minutes because I said we're gonna go for 3 hours. I didn't think it was gonna be this bad." Yeah,
Oh
but
my-
we wrote it out, but no, she enjoys every minute of it. She hates the one shot that she has to take afterwards. But
Oh my.
if
Oh my.
chat gets me lit up, and I'm talking like 20-ish shots, which has happened. Hasn't happened in a long time, but it has happened quite a few times. But at the end of the stream, I'll walk out there and be like, "Your turn," and she'll go sit in my chair and I'll stand where she stands and I'll hit her once. And that's it. She goes, "Yeah, that really does hurt." And I said, "Yeah. And this is after you already wasted all that CO2.
You're getting the toned down version.
I always make sure that's at the tone down, or we'll go through the length of the house. You know,
Wow.
I always try to be nicer.
Oh, that's good. That's good at least. At least you're trying to spare her a little bit.
I just gotta do it because on my side I'm like, I gotta transfer this pain to somebody else a little bit. Okay, that'll make me feel better about my life because my life sucks right now.
Oh my goodness. All right. So before FS25 released, we were starting to get that slow drip of information from Giants. You know, all the different features and things to expect when FS25 was to release. What was that one feature that you were like the most excited about when it was announced?
Nothing. Um, as Trucker Matsy would tell you, I purposefully do not dig. You know, if somebody tells me about something, cool. But I, when it comes to the new games, I hold everything about right here. And that's about it. Just right in the middle of my chest. That's it. It doesn't go anywhere else. It's just like I am very reserved, especially with like DLCs and everything else, just because I don't want to get, you know, super excited for something, you know, and then it not live up to my expectation. Whenever things don't live up to your expectation, you get way more put down about it. And also, I find that it's, you know, whenever you really hyped about something, you're going to do all the research you can about it. And I like to go in willfully ignorant, like I did with this interview. Like I purposefully choose to be willfully ignorant of things because I want to experience it for the first time on camera. You know, I want to figure it out with everybody. I want to, you know, I haven't watched anybody use this. I haven't done anything with it. We're going in. Let's figure it out. And you know, that's the way I do it. The 25 is honestly the first game that I've ever, you know, been one of the first people to look at. You know, when I was invited up there, I was actually asking, you know, like DJ Clutch, like, what are the features? Like, what are we, what am I supposed to be doing? I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking for. Like, what am I supposed to do? They're like, oh yeah, no, go look at this, and this. Have you not been paying attention? No, I haven't been paying attention on purpose. You know, and I got invited up there quite a while before, which, you know, but old habits die hard of, you know, being willfully ignorant of things. And it's just one of those deals where I choose, that's the way I prefer to do it. You know, if I'm going to be stupid and mess something up, I want it to be in front of everybody. That way they can laugh at me for it. You know, we can figure it out together. Or they can teach me. Or if I figure out something else, I can teach them. You know, we can all learn from each other.
So, has there ever been a time where that kind of mentality has ever like really burned you? Like, so
Oh, all the
what
time.
all the time? So, what would have happened? Let's say if like you said even before the show even started, I asked you if you were even familiar with the show, and you just reaffirmed it here right now that you weren't familiar with the show, that you purposely avoid you know getting this kind of information. I mean, what would have happened had like this been would have been more like an adversarial interview or something like that? Like, when has a situation occurred with this kind of mentality that you take? Uh, when has it like really come to kind of haunt you?
Um, I would never say it's ever came to haunt me. Um, I'm I don't care. You know, that's just kind of the person I am. You know, if like say take this interview per chance, you know, if this would have been, you know, kind of an adversarial interview or whatever, I'd wake up and be just as happy as I am right now tomorrow. I don't bother me one bit. You know, that's what you chose, and I said what I said, and I may not have liked what I said, but you know, if I got a little angry or something else and I, you know, adversely reacted, but I still said it. I don't have any other, I can't go back and change it. So why let it haunt me? I just have to learn from it and move on.
I
I said
gotcha.
what I said. So my morals will not let me not stand by what I said. You know, if that's just kind of the kind of person I am. Like if I say something in anger, I'll flat out tell you. You know, you call me out on it later. Hey, that was kind of messed up. Should have been messed up. I said it out of anger. I didn't care how your feelings were about it. You know, I said it to hurt you, so I'm glad that it hurt you.
I'm just glad that you affirmed that it did.
Yeah, thank you for telling me I succeeded at trying to do what I was trying to do. But that's one of the things that, you know, I've done enough things in my life that I regretted for the longest of times, and once I learned that, I just a lot of the YouTube process has been having those moments of I shouldn't have done that. And for a couple days it bugs me. It bugs me. And then it goes, all right, it happened. And then, you know, like well, my dad always used to tell me, move on. You know, is what it is, move on. You know, and that's become kind of my mantra. It is what it is. You did what you did. Move on and be better. You know, and that's why at the end of all my streams I say, be better. You know, try to make the world a better place. Because that's what it needs. You need to be more, you need to be kinder. You need to be more understanding. There's enough hate. We don't need any more hate. No, that's what I try to do. And there have been, you know, quite a lot of times where in the past year that, you know, people have came in and, you know, started beef that I had no idea we had beef. You know, we had problems, you know, and started talking all this trash on me. I didn't lose a wink of sleep over it. Because I'm secure enough in me. You're not my issue. You know, that's the way that I've always thought about it. Like, I can barely control my feelings now and be, you know, responsible for my feelings. Why am I supposed to be responsible for yours as well?
Yep. Yep.
I am me, you are you. You are in control of your feelings, I am in control of my feelings. That's all I got. Sorry, Captain. That's all I can give you.
Yeah,
But
no,
no, it's
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, there's probably been some times where I've said some things, done some things that have made people leave. But then again, what I did is what I said. Sorry. I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry that it hurt your feelings, I guess. I don't know what you want me to say. It like I said, I am not bothered by those things. It's more what bothers me when it comes to all this stuff is, you know, the understanding of people and trying to connect with more people. That's that's what gets to me more than anything else. You know, like, hey, I really like this person, but I don't know how to like talk to them specifically. You know, I can't I can't seem to hold a conversation with this person. They seem to lose interest. What am I doing wrong to make them lose interest? That's where my struggles more lie, because that's all I can control for things, you know. That's what bothers me. Not my actions, not what, you know, if it burns me, it burns me. I'll go grab some burn ointment, toss it on, and go back. it's it's a learning process the whole entire time, and I'm not perfect, nor is anybody else. We're all just trying to get through it together, and that's kind of the way why I do it the way I do it. You know, going willfully ignorant and dumb. We're going it. We're already in this thing blind as is. All right. Why would I try and look ahead to see the danger? We're all gonna find it together. If I'm falling, you're coming with. At least I won't be alone.
No, I never really kind of thought of it like that, but I mean, it makes sense. It's one of those that, if you're gonna, if you're gonna do something, then knowing the potential pitfalls isn't necessarily going to avoid the pitfall. So, yeah, I mean, why potentially like psych yourself out or makes yourself anxious or whatever the case may be by just just because it may happen. I mean, just roll with the punches and like you said, move on. So no, it's
Well, I don't know what your rating is, but I'm gonna try and say this as PG as I can. My motto has always been, you're never dipping your toe. Never half-ass a single thing. If you're going in blind, speed and violence will usually overcome the day. So, you're gonna do it. Go balls deep and go. Don't stop. Don't think. Just do. You mess up. You mess up. Learn. Go back. Analyze. Figure out what you did wrong. Move on.
Gotcha. And actually, that kind of tied into the next question I was going to ask. As a content creator, what kind of advice would you give to somebody who is kind of, looking to start in this field? And basically, sounds like that would be your advice, unless you got something to add to it.
My greatest advice: you rule your channel. It's not speed of action. Not, your typical just do it. My greatest piece of advice: you are in charge of your channel. Nobody else is. Do not give away the keys to the castle to the beggar. It is your castle for a reason. You do not have to give it away because you maybe hurt one person's feelings. Okay? Or you may have stepped on somebody's toes or said something that one person didn't like. Until the vast majority speaks up, you do you, boo. Keep being a rock star. Okay? Nobody but you can determine where your channel goes. So, set a path and go. Set your heart ablaze and just go. Give everything you got. Don't quit. Trust me, you're gonna want to quit. That's a given. Everybody does. I've wanted to quit hundreds, if not thousands of times over this, wild journey. Don't stop. The journey, the goal is still the goal, but the greatest part is the journey. And it always will be. Because, well, ever since I started, my status on Discord has been record, edit, post, repeat. Keep going till I make it. And I will never achieve it. I will never make it. I'll say that right now. I've said that this whole entire time. I will never make it. Because I don't, I heard this from Matthew McConaughey. My goal is always me in 5 years. That's it. That is my goal. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what I'm doing. My goal is to get there. And to do everything I can to make sure that that person is in a better place than where I am right now. So, do that. Do that with your channel. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. All right. It happens. But if you want to do it, don't pussyfoot, don't lollygag. Go. All you got to do. And don't let everybody tell you what to do. You do what you want to do. That's it. And that's not for channel, just channels. That's life.
Dude,
Don't do. If you ever have a thought that I might regret this, whether it's doing something, if it's I might regret doing this, don't do it. Or I might regret not doing this, you better frickin' do it. Caught myself. You better frickin' do it. That's because trust me, you can ask any older gentleman, there are things that they regret. They did or that they didn't do. Live life without regrets. Run your channel the same way. Yes, like he said it well. You'll never achieve nothing or something by doing nothing. So,
100%.
do something. I actually, funny enough, have a very cliche tattoo. I got it the day I turned 18. It says Carpe Diem. Seize the day. What you got to do. And I've tried to do that. I've failed more times than I can count. I've failed more than I've succeeded. But seize it. It's yours. Why not take it?
Dude, I tell you what, that is some of the deepest stuff I've heard in a long time, especially when it comes from the place of, us having a conversation here over a farming simulator content channel. I mean, wow. I was not expecting that here tonight, but dude, I'm so glad I was on board to see it.
This is normal. Like, it also goes back to I don't care. You don't like it? There's a door. I'm gonna say exactly, and that's something that I fell away from, and that's why I said that you rule your channel. Nobody else does. That's why I said that. Like, I fell away from that for a while, but I feel like I'm starting to get back into it. But at the same time, like, that's something that you're gonna do regardless. You're gonna have people run your channel. They're gonna make you think that you're doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But you're the only one that's in charge of it. So but in my other great advice, find you 3 good friends. 3. Okay? Those are the 3 that have power. Nobody else does. Mine's Matsy, Cowboy, and Stegman. They run my channel just about as much as I do. But they do not run my channel from a I'm in charge, I can tell you what to do. They are my best friends, they are my brothers. They have been with me from the start. Oh, go Pound Sand Legacy. You were too much of a you. But I bounce my ideas off of them all the time, you know, and they go and like Cowboy lurks every single stream. Doesn't say a word, but he is one of those people that just analyzes, watches how people react. He tells me that, all right, hey, you're doing this wrong. I saw this, I saw that. Oh, all right, cool. But the difference is those three know exactly where I want to be before I know where I want to be. Find you those three people. All you need. Doesn't matter how big or how small your channel is, you will always be happy with it. Well, there's that.
I mean, like I said, man, I was not prepared for how deep this conversation got, but man, am I glad I was on board for it. Whew. I love it. I love it. So I've got two more questions, and we can then start wrapping things up here. Next one I've got for you is, what has been the most memorable moment of your content creation career so far?
Getting that email from Giants. Go to the case plant. I wasn't supposed to tell Matsy about it or tell anybody about it, but I may and or may not, while he was live, jumped in and said, you need to mute yourself right now. And mute everything. You know, we got in there. I was like, dude, I just got this call about this, this, and this, and this. And he's like, that's cool. Like, there was zero details in it. Like, you know, it was, hey, do you want to come out the case? And it was like, oh, yeah. And that was it. I wasn't told what we were doing, but it was like, dude, I just got invited to case. Oh my gosh. You know, and just had an absolute freak out attack. And later on, you know, then like after I got done telling him about it, I got the message of, oh yeah, don't tell anybody about this. And I'm like, you're supposed to lead with that.
Oops.
I was like, well, I told my wife, is that all right? They're like, yeah, it's your wife. Yes, that's all right. I'm like, okay, good.
I may or may not
if
have
you
told
see this, I'm sorry.
I may or may not have told everybody else, but
no, it was just Matsy. Like he like I had his stream up there and like he muted everything. Like he did it, you know, right, because you know, we've had those moments where it's like, dude, I need to talk to you right now. Your stream, I don't care if you gotta shut your stream off. I don't care. We're talking right now. You know, and that's also why he is one of my friends. You know, and for that, he's like, all right, cool. He went to the GoXLR app, muted us to the broadcast stream mix, and we were able to sit there and have a conversation. Like, you could see his mouth kind of move a little bit, but that was it. You know, and he, even if like people could read his lips, he didn't say enough to give anything away. You know, he was still respectful and caring enough to do that, which was great. Yeah, no, it's that is definitely the highlight. And I would say right next to that would be taking my dad to the PBR. Proving that stubborn old codger wrong. When I started this, he's like, it's not going to lead to anything. Why are you doing it? No, we took him to the PBR for all 3 days. We had really good tickets. Like, Giants was kind enough to provide us with those, and they made that opportunity possible. And my dad's already looking at tickets for next year. You know, that
cool.
is, I'll admit it, I teared up. They started playing the national anthem and everything else that Friday night. Oh, I was a baby. I just looked over at Dad and I'm like, I should have done that.
Hide the face, hide the face.
Oh, I gotta put the hat on. Oh, Mikey, she's gonna see me.
Oh my goodness. All right, so last question I have before we're going to kick it over to the questions again from the stream. If you had the ability to make a map of real life, we're talking you knew everything to do about Giants Editor, you knew everything to do about the code, you knew everything about everything. Where would that be? Where would that map be based off of, and why?
Be home. Would it be probably be one of the most boring maps ever? It's flat. But it would be home. It'd have the feed yard on it. It'd have my old house on it. Place where I grew up, out in the middle of nowhere. It would actually be... So, you remember Lincoln Creek?
No.
Tail end of 22?
Was that a PC Mac only map?
Yes.
Yeah, I only just became got onto PC and Mac, so I'm completely unfamiliar with it.
Lincoln Creek's like this. I would basically take the map and go from here to here.
Okay.
And move it over a country mile. That's it.
Okay.
When Lincoln Creek came out, there's a reason why I played on it, because I drank in those fields. I got caught with the sheriff's daughters in that field, okay?
Ooh.
By the sheriff.
Oh, no.
But he was okay. She was with me, therefore he couldn't admit that I was there.
Oh, no. Now we got a pickle.
We're playing hide it. I mean, what?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Lincoln Creek was telling a 19. Okay, 19.
A 19? Okay, okay. Oh man.
They all blend into one at this point.
I tell you what, I've done maybe about 45-ish of these farm sim talks, and I've had a blast with every single one of them. Here tonight has kicked it up to a whole new level, man. I thank you so very much for tonight. But like I said, that is the last question I have for this segment. Let's go ahead and kick it over to the chat here real quick. I got a couple here. So I think I left off with Legacy Ag. Yes. Says, let me save for 4B. It's against Giants partnership rules and Giants TOS to show off mods that are locked behind a paywall. Gotcha. Okay. Next one's from Trucker Matsy. Says, I don't even call him his first name in person, LOL.
No, he actually refuses to.
Really?
Just because, yeah, no, he, I call him sometimes, like, I'll even do it on stream, but I will, you know, I'll hide it, you know, very poorly, but I'll do it, but he knows that I do it for the pure and simple fact of, hey, listen up, old man! You know, look over here! You know, but even then, no, he absolutely refuses to, even in person, because he knows that if he does that, he won't stop. You know, it'll become more of a habit, and he just does it out of respect, because he also knows that, you know, a lot of people that were calling me by my actual name were getting a little too comfortable there for a while, and beyond a little bit too comfortable. And thinking back to it, that's kind of when things started calming down for me a little bit. When I kind of got on people about it.
Okay. Let's see. Trucker Matsy, thank you so much for your question or your comment there. We got Reaver Time Todd says, can they call you Shirley? LOL.
Like I said, call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late for dinner.
And I do love the was it airplane? I think it was an airplane reference. Let's see. Todd also says, okay, so it says, tip, never give any of your followers your wife's phone or email, no matter how good friends they are. LOL.
Yeah. Never do that. Make sure that you can go on your, I don't care if you got to sneak into it, get on your wife's Facebook, her Snapchat, everything, and block your friends. Okay. Just block your friends. For the plain and simple fact of, especially if you have this, it will come back to bite you. Because friends are ornery, and if you don't think they're not going to throw you under the bus, you're wrong. They will. They'll do it. They'll giggle.
Yeah, I could imagine that friends would kind of do more revelry than anything. So, all right. So I think, let's see. Let me just double check. All right. Yes. Big shout out to Dust Bunny here tonight, gathering all these questions. She had to take off a little bit early, but again, huge shout out to her. Thank you, Dust Bunny, for everything that you did here tonight. But that was the last comment/question that I had from the chat. So now we're going to move into our third and final segment. It's called That's a Silage Wrap. And again, 4B, thank you so much for tonight. I had an absolute blast with you here tonight.
Thank you for having me. Still trying to figure out why you wanted to have me, but
I tell you what, it was for this reason exactly, is that I'm going to leave this stream here tonight with my jaw absolutely in pain because I've been laughing and smiling so much here tonight. I had an absolute blast. But do you want to remind us where we can find you?
Well, you can find me over on YouTube, 4B Gaming. You can find me on Twitch, 4B Gaming 33. Again, warning, Twitch is 18 plus, but, yeah, no, that's where you guys can find me. I really don't do much for socials, but, yeah, that'd be pretty much it.
And do you have any future projects or plans that you want to share with us?
We're looking at getting a new streaming series up and running. Single player streaming series. I'm gonna pick up, for days whenever, or for weekends whenever I can get as much recorded. Get some more content out there. It's just one, getting the drive to do it, and two, getting Giants to, or not Giants, but a Farming Simulator to play nicely. I tried to do that last night to announce this, but I locked up 8 times in a row. And then I was mad enough to the point where I started unplugging things from the back of my computer because I was going to go throw it. But then I remembered how much everything cost, and I went, we'll just start plugging that back in.
This might be a little too hasty.
I need to walk away. I'm being a little irrational right now.
Oh my goodness. But again, 4B, thank you so much for coming out here today and hanging out and answering all these questions. I had an absolute blast with you here tonight. And this is the part of the show where I turn to the audience and say, did you enjoy it? I hope you did. And I turn to you and ask if you want to see more of this, if you want to see me interview other creators within the farm sim community, whether they're modders, map makers, content creators. I'll even go and talk to actual farmers, because without them, we have no content to be basing around. So if there's anybody out there that you'd like to see join me here on this show, let me know. I'd love to be able to get them on board and be able to try and get a hold of them to get them onto the show. And all that being said, the only thing that I require is that they are over the age of 18. If you're not over the age of 18, I'm sorry, I will not host you on the show. It's just one of those that for, kind of safety sakes of the channel and all that stuff, not even going to be risking that. So if you are even within question of, being under the age of 18, I will require some kind of proof of age. So all that being said, I hope everybody here enjoyed the show here tonight. And if you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things. The algorithms enjoy you doing. The show as you're engaged with this channel, enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Take care. 4B, hang on for just 1 second until after the outro, and I will catch you on the other side. Take care, everyone.
This is Farm Sim Talk with BDD. Let's roll. Out here in the country, where the roads run wide, there's a world behind the pixels that we're bringing to the light. From maps to mods, to the rigs we drive, we're talking to the folks who keep this farm life alive. It's Farm Sim Talk with BDD. Come pull up a chair and ride along with me. Stories from the makers, the builders of the scene. Farm Sim Talk, where we live the farming dream. He's got questions rolling like a big John Deere, digging deep with modders so their voices we can hear.